And it looks like we are live, so I'm going to say hello, everyone, and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people. How are we all doing this rather insipid Monday? I can't remember exactly what insipid means, but I felt like saying it, and I don't care. How are we all doing? What have we been up to? Why have we been doing it? All that good stuff. And the title of this is not just some random thing that I decided to put up. Some of you will know that of late, things have been kind of not great on the... I know someone's... Yeah, things have not been quite great. But, like, specifically, this is about me. And, of course, the most important thing is things that affect me directly. But, yeah, YouTube has been really weird. And I have been talking to a number of other creators, and it looks like it is not exclusive to me, which in some ways makes me feel a lot better. It means that I'm not necessarily doing something wrong. But in other ways, it's still really fucking scary because it means that YouTube, for whatever reason, is currently hurting channels in my genre. And so I thought, you guys like me. Maybe you have some ideas of what to do. I have started putting some plans into action to try and make it so that it's not that bad, as bad. Hopefully, it will also help other people, because this has happened before. Like, some of you may remember about 4 years ago, it was brutal just before COVID hit. For some reason, just every sort of criticism slash atheist slash anti or pro science channel just seemed to get hit all at once, all at the same time. I had a chat with Radical. I had a chat with Creaky Blinder. We all came on. We had a long, go, and we started doing some work to try and sort of counteract it. And then when COVID hit, everyone was stuck inside, and everything shot up quite well anyway, because what the fuck else were they going to do? So I have no idea if anything I did actually helped at that time, which is a big...
JD, by the way.
You what?
Thank you, JD.
Oh, yes. I was going to get to the point. It is Mrs Sic's birthday in about 3 hours, and we're going to hang around for that duration, so we can both have a good time in terms of that, talk about Mrs Sic getting old. She's been doing her YouTube and doing her streaming and doing very well. You're streaming tomorrow, aren't you? As a big, well, not a big, but your normal birthday stream as well.
It's a normal Tuesday.
It's just for me, it was Tuesday. Yeah, but so I have no idea how that worked. At the moment, I'm currently working on... I've actually pulled my finger out, and we have started... I've chosen a platform to move my old merch store onto. Mrs Sic has started working on some new artwork. We found some of the old artwork. We couldn't get it all back. In fact, we could basically get none of it that we couldn't find from our own supplies. And considering I'm such a data hoarder, cannot fucking find them anywhere, which is very annoying, but it is what it is. But the ones we found, Mrs Sic was like, yeah, I've gotten better at art since I made that. I have to remake it because I'm not happy with it. So that is something she'll be working on.
Thank you, Tim. It's good to be us, alright?
Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying.
About making art.
Mrs Sic is making art, so we'll do the fucking merch store. We'll be back, and I've chosen one that's integrated into YouTube a bit more, so people will actually have it be purchasable from my page. Hopefully, it won't be too distracting. I'm hoping that it's not something that's too over the top gross looking, but you've got to do what you've got to do in order to sustain yourself. Part of the scary thing about losing so many views, and basically I've gone down like a good 200,000 views in the last couple of months, and they are trying very hard to stay down and go down even further. And I just work on videos to try. It's the thing that sort of drives me crazy is that I'll put up a video and I'm like, right, this will be one that will do really well, and then it will be below minimum, lowest performing video I've had in months, and I'm like, no, that's not right. But maybe that was the best choice. Yeah. I'm going to be a bit rambly in this. I haven't actually brought up chat yet, so I should probably do that so I can see what you are all saying. Excuse me, control. Edge is so useless. I know I shouldn't be using Edge, but
use Edge.
we all know I use Edge as one thing.
You like edging.
Edging, yeah. Exactly. But yeah. I need new conspiracy theories. All my old ones came true. That's just not right, and mostly a very silly thing to say. Unless you are purely doing it for the joke. Edge sucks, but it is useful to have it so that I can zoom into text without... And I don't know why Chrome does this, but if you zoom in on one page, it goes, oh, you wanted to do that on literally every Chrome tab that you have and Chrome window. I'm like, no, I just wanted to look at this one bit of text. No, you wanted it all. That's insane to me. It should be a per-page basis. Maybe that's impossible to do, but it just seems like that's how it should work.
Thank you for the birthday messages.
But
I appreciate it. I'm doing an old.
The major thing, and one of the things that I did at the time, was I started collabing properly again. And it's one of those things that I'm really bad at falling off of. I'm quite a solitary person. I like working on my own. I like being left on my own to just do things. That's why I find moments like these so stressful. It pushes me to have to do other things instead of just doing what I like doing. I like making videos. For a very long time, for about 3 or 4 years, it seemed to be working. I was doing it the right way. I was getting better at making videos. A lot of you are saying, oh, Mrs. Sic's animation in this one was the best. It's been more than a year since she's ever animated anything on this channel. It's all been me. I am getting better at it. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the compliment that isn't a compliment, but you know what I mean. And obviously I'm putting a lot more work into the individual videos. But yeah, but the numbers have been pretty fucking abysmal lately. Not always. The Matt Walsh video I did recently, that one has gained some momentum because people find it very funny to make fun of Matt Walsh, which is unsurprising. He is a very silly man. But it's not doing as well as it probably should have. And like my last video I put up was a Flat Earth video. That's done absolutely garbage numbers. That was the one that hit the point that made me go, this isn't going to stop unless I do something about it. Because one of the things I do when I upload a video, as many of you all know, is I spend an hour in the comment section answering comments. Not with anything complicated, unless someone says something that I think, oh, I actually have something worthwhile to respond to say, not that it isn't worthwhile to respond. It's just sometimes I don't have anything to say. I'm just doing a thing to keep track and let people know that I'm paying attention is the kind of the whole point. But oh fuck, thank you, brain. Yeah, I do that so that in that first hour, I'm not just sat there staring at the comment screen, because that is what I would do otherwise. It gives me something to do. And so I am still watching it. I am still paying attention to it. And most of the time, what I expect in the first hour is to have about 3,000 views on the first hour of any given video. And 3,000 is like bad. Like it's the minimum that I would have accepted as this video is going to do X number. Recently, I've had a 2,900 one, and then a 2,800 one, and then a 2,600 one, and then this last one was 2,500. And my rule before that was, okay, I still have had in the past videos that drop below that 3,000, and I was not happy, but I was like, as long as it's above 2,500, The last one hit 2,500, and I was like, shit, that's not good. That is extremely worrying. So it's something that's been concerning me. It's been causing me no small amount of pretty severe anxiety because, you know, I've worked on this thing for 7+ years now, maybe something like that. And that's a lot of time to put into something that just randomly wants to kill itself. At least that's how it feels. How's it going? It's going. It could be better, is the way I'll put it. Yeah. So, like I said, I just wanted to talk about it. I needed to talk about it. Some of you will have seen. I've posted this on various social medias. I put a little bit on YouTube itself, but not like in a video or anything. And it is something that I need to fix. But the main sort of the big push is going to be doing more collabs. I currently am in talks with 2 other creators. I won't say who because I know hype can be a little bit weird. And I don't want to. One of the big problems with collabs I found in my time, because I'm someone who, like, I let people know this. I am completely open and honest. I can be flaky. Like, I can struggle with a thing. I won't let someone do work before I'm fully committed, but we can talk about doing something for quite a long time before I'll actually be comfortable doing with it. It's a problem with having an anxiety disorder, and it sucks to admit. I hate having to say it about myself, but it makes me quite flaky. But when I'm motivated, that kind of goes away. Right now, I'm extremely motivated. I have a big looming threat above my head that says, if you don't do this, you could lose the thing you have. I blame the tariffs for the bad views. See, I've had that theory, but the thing is, the tariffs have been globally disruptive, but the tariffs mainly affect Americans, as far as I can tell. And the number of American viewers hasn't really changed. So I'm not 100% convinced that. I think it might have had some effect, but I don't think it's the full effect. I am almost entirely convinced this is mostly an algorithmic change, because they do that. They do something, they press a button, they pull a lever, and it breaks something for certain people. And I know that they don't intend to do it. They, you know, as much as you can hate on YouTube for various reasons, I think they genuinely like the fact that they can have people have small businesses just built out of their system. I think that the people who work there that like what YouTube is think that's cool, and the people who like what it is probably work within the guts of it, and they don't mean to break things, but it happens. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the next few weeks, but I have some plans. There's other things happening this year as well. There's a big change coming to Patreon, which I'm going to have to adapt to quite strongly. I don't know what effect it's going to have. I'll just tell you now. No, I won't tell you, because I don't want anybody taking any action before I've taken action. Because if they do, you could end up doing something that isn't actually great. But eventually I'm going to be releasing a video once I've got the fucking the merch store fixed, and once I have the changes in place for Patreon, or at least planned to be in place, or whatever. Once I have a few things going, and I've got a few of the collabs maybe under my belt and ready to go, I'm going to release some sort of update and talk about this shit, and let people know what's going on, and that potentially I need some assistance. Maybe the company in charge of YouTube is having president problems. I mean, maybe, but again, I don't see how that would necessarily affect. an algorithmic change is an algorithmic change. I don't think that there's anything really like people still need entertainment and people still watch YouTube. Just make a video titled "Leaving YouTube" or "My Last Video." Seems to work a treat. See, I might be an asshole, but unless it's literally an obvious joke, I couldn't do something like that. And just, I don't like the bait and switch. It's not cool. People, and the thing is, people notice. Like, people notice when you're being dishonest. And I try not to be. Hey, He-Man love your channel. He-Man does love my channel. He let me know, but thank you so much.
I am here, by the way. Thank you for the birthday messages.
Oh, yes. And of course, Mrs Sic is going to be old in the next 2 hours and 43 minutes. So do send her your love. It's a weirdly, it's like a positive and negative stream. But yeah, so things are happening. Things are in process. I've put up various places. Like on Patreon, you can go to Patreon now. If you follow me on Patreon, you don't have to pay to follow me on Patreon. Although I do like money, but you don't have to pay to follow me on Patreon. And I make all of my posts available to everybody because I don't believe in gatekeeping content I was going to release anyway. Like the videos that I'm going to always release videos 2 a week as long as I can. And that's never going to change. Like, I'm never going to suddenly start doing 1 video a week or no videos and they all just go onto Patreon. I don't think that's a way to grow, if anything. But, yeah.
Did you at least get an Easter egg? No.
Oh, no, I did not get an Easter egg. I bought myself some chocolate at Easter because I really, really wanted chocolate. Corny, this isn't... You're not in Mrs Sic stream. You're not a mod here. Don't forget. Can someone please explain? In the Bible, the Earth is 6,000 years old. Can Mrs. Lady Sic talk about? For fuck's sake. Can Mrs. Sic talk about Egypt? Now, how much of a birthday present would that be? Maybe we need a monetary goal in order to let Mrs. Sic talk about Egypt. That could be something. 10 videos a day, please. My God.
They have recently found a new tomb as well.
There's no such thing as tombs. Pyramids are fake. It's all a conspiracy. Have you ever worked in a pub? If you have, do you have any tips as to what to ask the interviewer? I'm having my first job interview tomorrow. I have, and so has Mrs. Sic. I've worked a lot of hours in pubs. Mrs. Sic lived and worked a bit in pubs, but not as much as me. Not even close. Probably not. But she did. She has worked in pubs more recently than I have, so that's a difference. There's nothing particularly, in terms of working in a pub, what you need to be, if you are friendly and talkative and chatty, you should be okay. And you just have to let them know that you are willing and capable of learning, because most of the skills in a bar are very simple, but there's a lot of them. Like certain drinks, learning how to make certain drinks, being able to tap a keg is obviously very useful. Being able to change barrels is extremely useful. If you allow yourself to be someone who can run the bar on your own, if you think you could do that, that is something they would find very, very appealing. But honestly, like, most of bar work is just being able to talk to the customers while, yeah, it's not the hardest job in the world. It's not something that requires any sort of education, even though I literally have degrees in bar work, but I didn't fucking do anything with them. I hated doing them. because I and Mrs Sic, me and Mrs Sic are the same. If there's a question,
I am you. You
if
are
there's
me.
a question,
We are Borg.
if there's a question in in like a test or in a form, and it's even slightly ambiguous what it's not entirely clear what they could mean.
I hate it.
I literally headbutted the form. The tests came in binders, and I smashed it against my face because I was so angry about it.
I don't like it when it's ambiguous. I like things to be in clear text.
Yeah,
It's like, just tell me what you want and I'll tell you.
I can't remember what it was. I got 2 channels for you to look over. Almost Fake. It seems like a sensationalist channel, and Daily Dose of Wisdom. I think I've heard of Daily Dose of Wisdom. If you have stuff for me to look at, go to my About section. It's on the main page, and go to my email and send it to me on my email. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it here. I'm not going to check here. I never do, because I'll get halfway through doing it and I'll forget because I'm supposed to be talking right now, and I'm very bad for that. I'm learning Reiki. I can do it remotely now. I'm on the next level. Who needs help? Just give Sir Sic money and you'll feel my heat. Are you touching people through the internet again? Don't do that. I almost checked out. What? I almost checked out Almost Faker for almost. That's a lot of almosts. That's very confusing. The Sic is going to assimilate us all. We are sick. You will be your. What is it? Your biological and technological uniqueness will be added to our own. Their resistance is futile. Yes, I do like The Next Generation, and the Borg was awesome. I went for an interview as a delivery driver with Yodel the other day. I accidentally went to the wrong office and they promoted me. Fuck, you got me there. Although I would have had it as every. I was listening to a thing the other day, actually, and it was about Royal Mail, and it's something like 99% of all first class deliveries get there the next day, which is what they say they'll do. But if you ask people how many they think get there, they're like, oh yeah, like 50, 60%, which is really shit when you consider 99% is really impressive. And apparently they try to get it above that, and getting the first 99% is relatively simple. Getting the last 1% of all mail is like tantamount to impossible. There's a reason why those 1% slip through the gaps, because it's so fucking difficult. But yeah, I don't know what my point was, but I did find that very interesting. Did you see the scientific study where they removed the MX19 gene in a rat, and it grew a third eye and lost its ability to grow hair and produce breast milk? It was really interesting. That is really interesting. It is very interesting how gene manipulation can work. The most important part about working in a pub is that you have to stay up most of your shift. Stay standing is what specifically they're trying to say. Yes, there is a reason I will never ever do bar work again. And honestly, you probably need a job, and it's not very helpful for me to say don't do it. It's not worth it. If you need work, then it's probably worth it. But do try to not let it destroy your body, because it destroyed my feet. I have pretty massive plantar fibers on the bottom of my feet now, which I didn't have before I started doing bar work, and I sure as shit had afterwards. They're these agonizing lumps that grow on the bottom of your feet. And yeah, not fun. And if they remove them...
what they said, though.
What did who say?
If you're overweight, you're prone to fatty items.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't overweight when I worked at a pub. When I worked in a bar, I was pretty normal sized. I got fatter when I had fucking great big things on the bottom of my feet, and exercise became incredibly painful. Although I have started relatively regularly doing fucking, I want to call it a pedalo, exercise bike stuff. Although last couple of weeks that's gone to the wayside because A, the kids are on holiday, and B, I've been stressing out about my fucking channel dying. But yeah. Since you have an anxiety disorder like me, do you ever get the anxiety that I get that tells me I'll stop breathing unless I continue to consciously take each breath? I got that yesterday. My anxiety is general, and that is to say that I am sitting there just feeling anxious.
Yeah, but you do the thing where you forget to breathe. But
Yeah,
I think
but
that's more of an ADHD thing, though.
I'm not concerned that I've forgotten to breathe. I just go, oh yeah, breathing, that's probably a good idea. But no, my anxiety is based around just generally, just general anxiety, which is why they call it general anxiety. The thing that drives me crazy about it is that I'll be sat there, and then I'll realize I'm not anxious, and then my body goes, "Oh, sorry, mate, we didn't want to leave you on the lurch like that. Here's the anxiety bag." I'm like, "Fuck." It'd be nice to be able to enjoy not being anxious for a moment and be aware of it, but that's literally impossible. To help with your anxiety, a joke. Close your eyes if you drive a BMW. A German engineer applied for a job at BMW and he got the role of fitting indicators. His life lost purpose. I don't get it. Is this a car joke that you have to be like into cars? Or at least car law, because I don't.
Car law.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Skoda's a shit is car law, but it's like one of the most famous ones, at least in the UK. Although they're good now, and have been for fucking ages.
Thank you for the birthday messages again.
Yeah. Weird. YouTube just glitched me back 15 minutes. YouTube sent you back in time. I don't know if there's anything that we could do to help. Unfortunately, there's no lotteries that are pulled every 15 minutes. Otherwise, you could do that. I only have lieutenant anxiety. Fuck you, dead goon. I'm so sorry. It's me. I'm the guy who single-handedly ruined your channel. I started watching videos one by one going back, and apparently YouTube hates it and thinks I'm boosting views. That's probably not the case. If you watch the videos, then it's fine. What it doesn't like is if you just like click, like sit there with 10 tabs open with the same video or stuff like that. They're not so keen on that. Generally speaking, if you're big enough, boosting, it take a lot of work to look as if you're trying to do something at a mass scale. But yeah.
Hi, Sonia.
If you just sit and watch through my videos, they love
Sonia?
that.
Sonica. Sorry.
Sonica. Yeah, Sonica Blade. But isn't it Sonia Blade? That's
probably why I said Sonia.
I think it's supposed to be like Sonia Blade. I'm 15 minutes ahead with this time warp. Good. My wife worries I stop breathing at night. She hits me to help me breathe. My body. So many brews. Are you sure she's not just hitting you because, you know, you're there? German humor is nasty to the point I really can't give you an example.
German humor is very weird. Usually a lot of it's to do with double meaning of words or literal meaning of words. Yeah.
So a lot of wordplay then.
Yeah, definitely a lot, yeah. There's also just some really weird, straight up, very dry, dark humour, which is odd.
I pretty much just have a playlist of your videos I put to go on to sleep to. I appreciate that. YouTube does like sleepy videos. That's one of the things I've considered. I considered it a couple of years back, but I thought it would be annoying. But it might be something that would actually be very beneficial to the channel. I have a few series, and I also have like a lot of videos based on particular idiots that maybe I should just make some compilations and just put them I wouldn't put them out as main videos, but if I like put them out on a random Sunday or something, maybe that would be good. I think it would be algorithmically potentially advantageous because I know some of you would just watch it. Someone was saying when I was asking for suggestions, they were like, "I'd watch fucking flies going around and paint drying as long as I had your witty commentary over the top." As I do understand that there's a number of people who essentially, whatever I do, they'd watch it. But I'd like to keep it a certain level of quality. I used to have sleep apnea because my tonsils were the size of icebergs that sank the Titanic. I'd lay back and they'd block my airways.
Oof.
So that's not just sleep apnea. That's like you're immediately unable to breathe as soon as you lie down, which is terrifying. Very, very
You know
occasionally.
that is what happened to the Elephant Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was he called? John Marek? He couldn't lay backwards because he would choke.
I thought his name was John Elephantman.
John Elephant.
I know of a guy who runs a small gaming channel called Blue Lad. I started using his videos.
Joseph Marek. That's his name. Sorry.
I started using his videos as gaming background and bam, a decline in views. Also, over commenting by one person causes shadow bans. It can cause shadow bans for that person, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I also know that when people just like completely unnecessarily say, like, just swear like sailors, that can also do it. The Too Sick to Quit channel. Is that a me thing, or is that just are you saying the name? Like, because here's one of the things that blows my mind about me. I don't know if it's because I'm too small or I just have never seen them, but I know channels of similar sizes to me that have a bunch of sub channels by other people where they just like repost little bits of everything, and that doesn't appear to have happened to me, which I'm fine with, but I'm also concerned that I just haven't seen them and that I've been really ignorant and just never seen that there's this guy who clearly likes what I do. The only person I know who does that is Umama Goblin, who did he's done a few compilations of jokes, which are generally really good. It's really bad to sit down and watch a compilation of things that you have said and sit there laughing to yourself like an idiot. After I watched those, I thought, fucking hell, what a dick. But it's a good thing. I mean, I've always considered when people say, oh, you think you're funny. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm funny. I say things that I think are funny, but that's not the same as thinking that I am funny. I don't think I have that ultimate supernatural level of charisma that a lot of comedians seem to have. Although that's a lot of the time that is a stage act. That is, whatever it is. But I know that I can write a joke. But anybody can write a joke. Like, you just have to sit down and write it. You have to think about how to make it as funny as possible.
That is not one of my talents. I don't sit down and write a joke things. I don't really do jokes.
By the way, this might sound like attention, but like, if I watch videos in 2 times speed, does it affect its performance? I like watching it quickly. I don't want to perform less. As far as I'm aware, watching at double speed, as far as YouTube is aware, it counts as the same. I don't know if watching it slower has a difference on it, but I believe that watching it at twice speed is not bad for channels. I've seen those compilation videos of you. Well, yeah, I posted one of them on the channel because I thought it would just be a good idea. What about a Sic cooking channel? No, they won't let me do videos of cooking people. Apparently it's some sort of crime against some sort of convention. I don't know. You're funny. Thank you, Lisa. You're funny too, probably. If anyone wants to support a small gaming channel, checks out Mrs Sic's channel. I'm not fucking promoting other channels here, unless I do actual collabs with them. I'm here for Sir Six Humor. Thank you. By the way, folks, if you haven't gone over Spoon Stuff Stories, please, absolute top-notch role-playing animation. The narration is passable. Thank you so much, Kaylee. I appreciate it. But yeah, those exist, and they are still being worked on, but Mrs Sic is mostly doing her YouTube streaming at the moment.
This week, I'm mostly playing Dark Souls 2.
She's getting really fucking good at it. Like,
I'm okay.
I sat and watched her. I can't remember. What's the name of the boss before you meet Vendrick in Dark Souls 2? You've just fought him.
Not Verstalt.
Verstelt. She soloed him. She solos fucking everything. That's not how I used to play. And she's like, oh, I'm not doing that well. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, you are so much better at Dark Souls than I was when I was playing them originally. I fucking summoned everything all the time, everywhere. It's like, if I could summon, I would. Jolly cooperation non-stop. And she's like running around with a fucking sword that's basically an airplane wing and just bonking everything. It's ridiculous. Yeah. You're having a good time though, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. A good game with some interesting choices. I think to YouTube, it's super visible when I watch something out of pity because I'm usually scrolling back a lot, writing 50,000 comments, etc. Just try to watch things normally would be my suggestion. And also, don't assume that it's you. There's a good chance it isn't. There's a good chance that it's just weird, coincidental things. If you let everything... See, the reason why I believe an algorithmic thing is happening is because it's not just me. Multiple channels have experienced the same thing at exactly the same time. That suggests something strongly to me. If it was just me, I might be convinced that it's something I'm doing wrong or that I just need to do something else or build up. Yeah, but if you let YouTube... If you let the things that happen on YouTube affect you, it's going to drive you crazy.
Han Solo.
What system does Mrs. Sic play on? She's got a PC. So she can stream straight up. There are many PCs in this house. We have all of the consoles, but yeah, it's much easier to stream from a PC, so that's what makes sense.
Yeah, but people want me to play Bloodborne.
Well, I have the means to get you being able to play Bloodborne. All I really need is probably like I can't think what it's called. The card. It's not like a graphics card, it's the other one.
What's your birthday plan? Streaming. It's basically a normal day for me.
Yeah. Were you planning on playing a different game for a stream or just more Dark Souls?
No, I'm playing Dark Souls.
She'll be playing Dark Souls too because that's a good birthday. I mean, that is a pretty good birthday, just playing Dark Souls all day. I have a spare code for Risk of Rain 2, if she would like it. Well, we have got... So one of the things we used to have is Xbox Game Pass, but I've let that run out because Steam released proper family sharing, where basically if someone isn't playing the game, anyone on the account can play it. And any other game that someone isn't playing, if there's 2 copies, 2 people can play at the same time. It doesn't matter who they are. And there's enough spaces for me, my brother, Mrs. Sic, and both of my kids. And we have a copy of Risk of Rain 2. But having 2 copies of Risk of Rain 2 would mean that we could play it together. So... if you really want, you can email it to me and I will activate it on her account. But if it's just to have a copy and you want to give it to someone else, do feel free to give it to someone else. And did you get it from Humble? Because I get most of a big portion of my games from Humble bundles. Last time I was too late to ask you. In some of your videos, your voice sounds like you're wearing an actual helmet. Limited articulation and echo. Have you ever recorded with a helmet on? No. I have never. I have a helmet. It is incredibly fucking uncomfortable. I don't have a particularly big nose, but I have a very big head, and it makes it crush up against the edge of it. I fucking stream from my ring. I fucking steam from my ring. Dark Arsenal's a ring of justice. Thank you so much. That is just perfect.
Thank you for the birthday messages again.
Happy unbirthday to me, because it's not my birthday. It is not. It's a while away. Are there any people in the UK named Randy? Yes.
Probably.
Randy? I have a helmet too. What kind? You could do winky face. Do you also have a set of armor? No, I don't. I have a St. George's Cross vest and some leather gloves, but they're like driving gloves, not like proper big gloves. Watching some of your Spirit Science series playlist works a treat as far as nervous system regulation goes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got those playlists, and I think from a YouTube perspective, I should probably turn those like Spirit Science playlists into big videos, and that might be beneficial to the channel. I'm in the process of another fucking words escape me. The start of a new series. I've made a second video. The big brain among you could probably guess what the second video, what the video I'm doing another video on is. Do you wear your helmet to avoid being concussed when you facepalm? I haven't worn my helmet in like 3 years. It's been a long time since I've made any live action things. I had to stop because it was too much extra work when a shitload of extra work came into play. So talking about doing collabs, way back when I was trying to set up a collab, and I had to not do it because a bunch of things all came through at once. This was when Mrs Sic stopped helping me edit, and we had some other stuff to do with the kids, and there was just a lot going on, and I'm like, I can't do a collab and this. And it's probably about the same time that I stopped doing the live action stuff as well. It's a lot. And I was thinking about that today, and I realized just how I probably underestimated how much of a big deal that was in terms of my brain at the time, and how on fire it was. Named my helmet Lord Curtain Splitter. Okay, that's an interesting one. The history of the tabard. There's a video idea. From crusaders to office cleaners. You make it. I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, I've got a video idea for you, and it's like something I wouldn't touch with a 50-foot barge pole. And I'm like, yeah, you could make that. Or when people tell me how to make videos the way they want me to, I'm like, you know that YouTube lets anybody upload here. That I didn't have to like buy a license. I didn't have to ask anybody. I just did it. I was watching one of your Spirit Science videos today. You poor thing, Andy Hammer. That sounds like the worst. What British person names their kid Randy? You may as well name them in desperate need for a shag. I mean, there's some names. Keith is a name. I mean, I'm really sorry to any Keiths out there, but it is just the worst. I may be autistic as shit, but I'm glad I understood curtain splitter. I'm assuming I understand what it means, but I also have this image of someone sticking their penis through some shower curtains or just window curtains. And I'm pretty sure the window one is probably going to get you, at very least, some sort of citation. Bad names. Kevin. Trevor. Oh, there are some pretty terrible names. One there's a few that really get me. I can't say some of them because they're like that. I have a bunch of family members with them, but there's some that I just Flashing is definitely a crime. But what if it's in your house? Like, does it count as flashing if I stick my penis through my curtains? I suppose it depends if anybody sees, or if I stand at the window and just open it. Beef curtains, which is everybody's favourite meal. Gives a vindaloo and an adrak to Mrs Sic. I mean, she does like a curry. She's not so keen on vindaloo because it's less flavour and more just spice. I don't know if there's like a particularly tasty vindaloo, like one that's designed to be yummy instead of just a hate crime to your insides. An idea for your next house party. So an idea for never. Interesting. I mean, first off, I'd have to have a house. One of the things we've talked about, my brother is called Clive. Not good, is it? Clive's not the worst, but it does feel very old-fashioned. But yeah, I mean, I talked a lot about, we'd like to be able to save up and get a house. And then that stopped being possible because of fucking just everything's crazy and I do not earn anywhere near enough money for that. To now, let's see if we could just get the channel to fucking survive and continue being my job. Wasn't there some nudist guy charged with walking around his house naked a few years back because his neighbours could see him from their garden or something?
Yeah.
Stop looking through his window. God damn. Were they charged? Did the charges stick to his naked body?
No, I think it was the other way around. He was in his garden naked, but they could see him through their top window.
Okay. Well, being in your garden and being in your house is definitely not the same. I'm pretty sure looking through people's windows is basically a crime, especially when you admit it to the police. Hi, yeah, I was just looking through my neighbour's window and they're naked, and now I'm mad and aroused. Can you please do something about it? Yes, we're coming to arrest you, sir. What the fuck is wrong with you? Since the topic switched to romance, do you think it's possible for an overweight guy who loses hair to find a hot, skinny girlfriend? I'm dead serious, not seeking a cheer up. It's possible.
It is all about the charisma, my friend.
Make sure you're clean.
If you're clean, you're funny, you dress well.
Well, clean, confident, and dressing well. Now, they are fucking cliches, but they're cliches because they fucking work.
And finding somebody who you blend well with when it comes to interests.
Yeah.
If you have similar taste in music, similar taste in movies, and similar if you both like video games, then have similar tastes, and then it doesn't really matter what you look like.
On the other side, I would say it's important to make sure you don't, like, I don't know what skinny means to you. I mean, it's okay to have preferences, but always consider that any person who's interested in you and is a good person and you like them, who gives a fuck if they're perfect? Don't let your standards let you be completely fucking unhappy.
You should just find somebody who you click with, you get on with, and then let their personality make their physical features more attractive, rather than they have to be physically attractive for their personality to be attractive.
Here's a question that everybody needs to ask themselves. Would you rather...
Breathing is optional.
Oh my God.
That's so bad.
Here's a question that everybody needs to ask themselves. Would you rather spend the rest of your life with someone who's like really hot that you fucking hate, or someone who's conventionally you don't find ugly? They're not hideous to you. You're not like being sick, but they're not like the hottest person that you know, but you really enjoy their company, you love spending time with them, and basically have a forever best friend that you occasionally put your genitals together with. Like,
I'd rather have somebody who is supportive.
Yeah.
Who actually wants to see you achieve your goals and is there for you when you have your wins and your losses. That's what you want in somebody.
Hate those windows thing. They let in too much of that light stuff. What you can do is put foil over the windows, and then everybody thinks that you're cooking meth. But it will stop the light coming through.
Similar taste in music I've cut. Mine is a compilation, if the most niche stuff imaginable. Thing is, as well, is you can introduce people to music. You can have a very specific type of music that you really, really like, but then you should try and branch out into other similar genres because it widens your interest field. And then you can introduce your potential partner to this niche stuff that you like.
Like, one of the things is...
Like, Sic has these very specific...
There's things that I really like, but I have lots of things that I quite like.
Like, he has this very small niche type of music, and he introduced me to that through other genres that he introduced me to.
Yeah.
So...
There's some niche ones that I really, really like, and they're like my favorite. But I like a broad range of music. I like good music, but I really like what I really like. What I want to say is, like, being an appealing, attractive human being to other people tends to be work. If you want to be like the music thing, like, there's work you can do to make your your taste in music broader, so you have more capability of talking to someone about music and not just sounding like a crazy person who only listens to Finnish folk metal. I listen to Finnish folk metal. I like it quite a lot, but I like other things too, and I can actually hold a conversation about all sorts of music.
You have quite a wide, varied taste.
Yeah. And like I said, looking good, smelling good, not smelling bad. Like, there's all sorts of things you can do to be appealing. And also, just don't expect and just chat shit, and, you know...
You should be looking for a friend more than a girlfriend.
If you just go out and try and make friends, you'll probably just randomly end up with a girlfriend. That's how it always works for me.
Dating is different now, though.
Dating is very different now, so a lot of this advice might be completely fucking stupid.
You kind of had to do it in person when we were dating. We don't do that anymore.
There are still places you can go where you can meet people, though, and speed dating still exists. So, you know. Hey, Sic, I made a playlist of you versus Spirit Science. I just updated it, if that helps. I mean, I had a playlist for most of my little series. I know that I stopped halfway through one of them because I just didn't fucking know what to do with the video. I might come back to that one, see that. Poets of the Fall. Is that what I think it is? They made Late Goodbye? Maybe. Don't whine about your problems. Talk about all the things you've accomplished. Or at least talk about things you feel like you've accomplished. Or just in what you enjoy.
I'm pretty sure Poets of the Fall were the ones who did Alan Wake soundtrack. I really like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
The music in that is really good.
I must be a jerk. I'm very defensive about my playlist. I do not tolerate any recommendations from bands from the outside, but I'm only this way when it comes to music and literally nothing else. Yeah, but there's probably something out there that you'll like better, and you're just not letting that happen to you. And that sucks, because some of my favorite music is not of my favorite genres. Some of my absolute favorite songs. As someone who likes Finnish folk metal and avant-garde metal and a lot of metal,
melodic death metal,
I also like Salvatore Ganacci, who is just this fucking crazy person who makes just some of the best music videos and really, really awesome beats.
And you like Love Shack.
Oh, Love Shack is a fucking banger. And Groove is in the Heart. Oh my god. There's a lot of 90s music that I fucking love. Oh my god. I still need to find a perfect 90s playlist that I could just Mrs Sic could stream both Alan Wake games. She could. She's beaten Alan Wake too. This was one of the first hard games that she sat down and actually beat. It took you a while, and she didn't beat one boss. I had to beat it for her because
I watched,
you could kick that thing's ass now.
I watched somebody play the first one, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds actually quite interesting." And then
the second one came out, and there was 20 quid off immediately.
The second one came out, and I was watching the same person play it, and I was like, "Why am I watching this? I could play this," because it looked really good.
Vimeo James are Vimeo James. I should play the Vimeo James.
Yeah.
So Alan Wake should be one of the things this is a thing that I actually almost started my more difficult playthrough thing. Yeah. I'm pissed, Salvador Sally. Okay. So wait. They asked what I was doing there, and I was, what the fuck are you talking about? There we go. My car broke down near a hiking spot at 3 a.m. I work nights, and I couldn't go anywhere. So I was on the side of the road waiting for a ride when like 4 state troopers rolled up behind me. They asked what I was doing there, and I was like, oh, my car won't start. So I'm waiting for a ride. They turned my key. No noise, nothing. They kind of nodded a bit and said, you know, someone got murdered a couple of yards up that trail right there. And I was like, fucking what? So for like 2 weeks, they kept questioning me. Okay. Is that true, or is this like an internet story? Dewdrops in the Garden is a great D-Light record. I probably don't know it because I only know the one. Are you a fan of Fintroll? I mentioned Finnish folk metal. What do you think? It's pretty much the only Finnish folk metal that I actually listen to. But Trollhammaren is an absolute fucking banger.
Oh, jazz metal. I like jazz metal.
No, that's true. It was wild. That is fucking wild.
Wow.
So were you like kept? Or did they just keep coming to your house? It's like, I just broke down here. I didn't mean to break down here. I'm sorry. They caught the dude a few weeks later after you slit his throat and left him in the path. It was always you, you monster. You just left you pinned like a note to his chest saying, "Me am the killer." Very clever. Symphonic folk metal is my favorite.
That sounds like actually would be really good.
I like symphonic metal in general as well. Fucking Scar Symmetry. Holographic Universe is an absolute fucking smasher. What I don't like is now some of you are going. I'm going to have to preface this to say it doesn't mean what some of you think it means, but black metal. It's not African American metal, which there's some fucking quality. Fucking Head PE. Oh my god. Brooke is such a fucking album. No, black metal is usually incredibly Finnish, incredibly white people, and I'm sorry, but quite boring. It's just quite drony, and it goes on for fucking hours. Like, literally, some of the songs are hours long, and it's like, why? I used to know this guy, and he's like, oh yeah, the guy who wrote it, he like went to jail, and he wrote this in jail, and I'm like, I can tell. It's fucking boring, and it drones on for hours on end.
Sounds like prison.
And it's not it's not impressive to get locked up in jail. It means you're a shit criminal who got caught, and you're a criminal. Guess he didn't want witnesses or something. I like Nightwish. There's a few Nightwish albums that are pretty good. Holographic Universe is also an interesting book. I've heard, I haven't seen it. Metallica sucks. Metallica is fine. There's a few songs they have that are legitimate bangers. There's a few that are less so.
One thing that Metallica did, though, was introduce the idea of music videos. Because before, everybody used to just do live.
I think before Metallica, if someone had a music video, it was just them like playing on top of the pops or at a concert or something. They might. I don't know if they invented the concept, but they definitely popularized it. I think it was it for one?
I think it was for one, yeah.
Yeah. They also, the movie that is used in the video for Metallica's One, they own because they wanted to license it, and it was like $40,000 back then.
There's also the fact that Metallica is kind of like a baseline for metal as well, because they're so fucking old.
Old Metallica was good before they sold out. I really like some of their new stuff. Some of their new stuff fucking slaps. Saint Anger is a fucking face melter. That's like a really good piece of music.
Lacrimosa.
Some of their old stuff sounds like garbage, but some of it's good. It all depends. One of the ones that blew my mind was who did Immigrant Song?
Don't ask me.
I feel like someone will know who did Immigrant Song. Led Zeppelin. It might have been Led Zeppelin. And yeah, Zeppelin. I got given their discography, and holy shit, does that have some hot trash in it? Like a lot of hot trash. They sort of occasionally they'll just eke out just a beautiful, awesome piece of music, and then it's just garbage, fucking banger, garbage. Like, yeah, trying to listen to it was quite hard.
Lacrimosa is a song that I listen to regularly, but like the original one from Mozart, it's actually really good, especially if you have it on. Because I also like there's a Pache. Pache did an orchestral sort of drum and bass version of Lacrimosa, and I like that one too.
I like metalcore, whatever that is anymore. That's just 2000s-ish metal.
Yeah.
You're sort of Disturbed and
classic rock like Green Day.
I like classic rock like Slipknot. Because they're old now. Sick past hour. That's because it's Mrs. Sic's birthday, and we've decided to Enter Sandman is a song about SIDS. I did not know that, but it seems obvious. Unless, of course, you're just joking, where that's a fucked up joke.
No, I think it actually is, yeah.
It's also a really good song. Like, that's a good song. Like, you can think that they have a lot of bad songs, which is true, but they also have some bangers. I also like their cover of Whiskey in the Jar. I like boy bands, like the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. Classic rock is a moving scale for when you're old. Yeah. Like you're walking around the fucking supermarket and then you hear a song you like come on and you go, oh yeah, what? Why are they playing modern bangers? And then you go,
God, this reminded
oh God,
me.
This song is 30 years old, isn't it?
The kids were telling me that they heard an old song that they liked, and it was Avril Lavigne.
Oh God!
And I was like, oh no,
Avril Lavigne can't be old.
I was like, don't say that.
There's a fucking horrendous, I think it's a YouTube short, or at least just a relatively short video, but it's about
oh, Rammstein are really old as well, yeah.
It's about Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and saying, yeah, that game's so retro. It's like, yeah, it's about the 80s. It's got such a good retro vibe. I said, no. That game came out in 2002. It is a retro game now. I was like, no. And actually, in this year, it is 1986, when the game is set, is closer to the year the game came out than this year is to when it came out. The game is old, and so are you, and it hurt. Do you like Muse? Some. There's a couple of songs I like by them. I'm trying to think. Did they do Assassin? I think they did Assassin. Yeah. Like, if you take the soundtrack to a lot of the Guitar Hero games, there's a lot of songs in those and bands that I like. Like actually, if you just stick on the soundtracks to those games, I'm in a pretty good mood for the rest of the night. I'll be honest. That works for me. Oh God, I was born in 1986. Oh, you're young. Only by like a year, but still. Being old means when you started watching YouTube, every creator was older than you. Now every creator is younger. I'm just 28, and I watch a lot of guys who are 2+ years younger. I'm old. Well, there's guys that I watch who are younger than me. There's guys who I watch who are way older than me. Bear in mind, I am nearly 40 now. But a lot of people assume that as a YouTube creator, I must be in at most my early 20s, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Does Sir Sic or Mrs Sic like Linkin Park? Some of their songs. My favorite metal band is Skrillex. Oof. Oof. Skrillex has a couple of half decent songs, though. I'll be honest. I mean, it's easy to to give him shit, but he made some songs that are kind of good.
I used to have a haircut like Skrillex.
Steve Tarberry does an awesome parody of Slipknot called Nip Slot. That's a pretty good name, I'll be honest.
That's funny.
I am funny sometimes, and doing stand-up open mics helped me hone my humour and write jokes. I could imagine that.
Yeah, you probably would.
I like the idea of doing it as an idea, but the concept of actually deciding to do it gives me so much anxiety I want to explode. I'm 64, you sure? Well, you're not old, you're ancient, so that's different. Knights of Sidonia.
Ancient,
oh, yeah,
vintage. That's how you get away with it.
I'm 52. This is why my channel is shit. Enough said. Well, there are plenty of 20-year-olds with terrible fucking YouTube channels.
Oh, definitely.
And there are people in their fucking 80s with absolutely great YouTube channels. Mrs Sic watches these two fucking old dudes who are rappers. They're old white English dudes from fucking council estates in Reading or something. And they are very old and have YouTube channels that do very, very well.
You mean Pete and Bass? Yeah.
Stand-up is harder than playing in a band. No instruments to hide behind. Well, if you know how to play an instrument, then you know how to play an instrument. You learn songs. And people generally, if you can play a song properly, there's only... It's hard to fuck up. You're either not good enough to be there and it becomes very obvious very fast. But with comedy, if you have a particular way of doing your comedy that it builds up into something, it can be a lot harder to get people on board with that than if you can play a song, people, it's basically pretty obvious, and then you just carry on going. Also, you don't need to be as creative. If people heckle you as a band,
now that it's after 10,
yes,
you have to quieten your voice down.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're loud.
I mean, okay.
Monitor your volume, sir.
I will monitor my dick. My favorite metal band is the Trogs. Okay. I've heard the name, but I don't know that. I don't know any songs by them.
It's time for Whisper Sick.
For those who don't know, Steve Tarberry is a guitar YouTuber with the maturity of a receptioner who got laughs from saying poo once and never developed a new joke. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being immature. I mean, I've got 2 kids who are at the age where they're a little bit obsessed with, is that mature, Daddy? Is this mature, Daddy? And trying to get them into the idea that the most mature thing you can do at this age is to not give a shit about your maturity. Because do you know what adults don't do? Spend all day talking about how fucking mature they are. and any who do are considered the most immature people
I
fucking
think you will
alive.
find that I am very mature.
I think you will find
You don't
I'm the most
understand how
mature.
mature I am.
There's another place where mature comes up, but that was a conversation I was not having with my children. Pete Best and the garage music, playing a didgeridoo in the garage. I mean, it's something to do. I'm a relic. Just listened to Aqualung on vinyl, which I just bought. Well, the thing I love about vinyl is that it's extremely expensive for a much lower quality experience. So, and that's the thing to really enjoy about it. People who try to argue that somehow vinyl is magically better, no. Like, it can be fun. Like, there's lots of old ways of doing things that can be fun to do. But unless you're listening to music off of a CD, which is basically a near perfect representation of how the music sounded when it was played, apart from mastering and all that. But, you know, fucking vinyls got mastered as well. They weren't just fucking recorded straight to it. But it's inarguable that the quality difference is massive. The thing is, there's like you can add vinyl pops and bangs and all the little things that make vinyl sound like vinyl to any song, and I dare someone to be able to tell the fucking difference if it's done even reasonably properly.
Going back to relationship bias, is there demand for earnest guys? Why everyone says a guy must be funny? It goes against my whole personality. I like my relationship free of jokes and sarcasm.
Well, there's a difference between jokes and sarcasm. You can make jokes and be earnest. You can be funny and be
The
earnest.
thing about a joke is it breaks tension.
Yeah.
So if you can, it gets you over that awkward phase of you just meeting somebody and you don't really know what to talk about because you don't really know each other yet. A joke can get you past that.
Also, jokes and sarcasm are sort of elements of wit. And what is quite difficult to do is have a relationship where you lack wit. You don't have to be like pure on the ball, always on the thing. But if you are witless, you're not gonna. It's quite hard to have a conversation with someone who has no wit to them, who has nothing going on. But it is something that you can get better at with practice. Just listening to people who you find witty and entertaining. I wouldn't say emulate them. There are people who replace their personalities with quotes from shows they like. There's a story. There's a Reddit story.
That's an autism thing.
But there's a Reddit story about a girl who met a guy who everything he said during the date was a quote from everything he said during the dates and everything else. He was just constantly quoting Anchorman because she had not seen the film, and then she saw the film and like, oh my god, this guy is basically just pretending to be Ron Burgundy all day, every day. And it's a little bit exhausting. So don't do that. But Ikemi, audio cassettes, vinyl are better than vinyl. I will die on this hill. I mean, technically true, but CDs are significantly better than either, and FLAC level. I want to call them MP3s, but they're not MP3s, they're FLACs, but they're better than both because they're just the highest quality. But you need the equipment to play them at that quality, so, you know, what difference?
Scripting things you've heard before is an autistic trait, but it doesn't mean you have autism.
Yeah, like saying all the quotes that you really like, especially like when you're hanging out with your bros. And back when I used to go out a lot,
and you had bros,
single,
yes.
And I had bros. At the time, there was a Lee Evans DVD that we just all had watched multiple times, and we used to quote it at each other near fucking constantly. And that's just like...
But we do that, though. We quote each other for stuff all the
We
time.
quote all sorts of things at each other, though. We don't quote, like, one thing. We'll quote a bit of whatever we're watching.
Yeah, but I would say, like, 60% of our relationship is us quoting things at each other.
There is a good portion of that, but that's just part of bants. Like, witty and pretty and gay, la la la.
I do that, and I has the autism.
Yeah. I quote comedians like Michael McIntyre and Jack Whitehall. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with quoting or referencing things that you like, especially when it's very funny. But do try to avoid it being one's personality if you want to do that. But, you know, you don't have to be funny to be with someone. Some people don't like jokes at all, and you might meet someone like that, and that's ideal. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people like being able to just have... The thing about being able to make a joke, especially of a situation, especially when that joke is appropriate, is that it breaks tension. It makes it a more pleasant and enjoyable experience. Yeah. I didn't mean to be this deep. I'm just not old nor young enough to love vinyl. Well, it's fine. They're all terrible. Physical media bad. Optical media especially bad. Physical media good, dependent. Cartridges are good, but now we're talking about video games. CDs are terrible. Oh my god. The amount of scratched PlayStation 1 discs I've seen in my life is just horrifying. I call my personality type what I call intellectual rodeo clown from outer space. Well informed but ridiculous. I'll be honest, Zach. It sounds a little bit pretentious. It might not supposed to be.
What is the best argument against presup?
Presuppositionalism. The best argument against... Well, so presuppositionalism is bad on the face of it. Assuming your conclusion and then trying to make your argument fit that... trying to make the evidence fit that conclusion is just... It's just bad. Understanding what it is...
just being dishonest.
It's not about being dishonest. Usually people who presuppose their conclusion don't really understand what it is and why it's bad. The best argument against it is to be knowledgeable and understanding what they're doing and figuring out why, and being able to explain to them why it's a bad way to come to conclusions. And usually, I guess the best argument against presupposition is science and explaining and having a good understanding of how to do science. I've said it a million times. I've said it literally in the video I've written today. Science is about following the evidence to the conclusion, not the other way around. The reason we have certain conclusions is not because, oh, that sounds like a good idea. The reason we know about evolution and we understand how it works is because there is a fact out there called evolution, and then there's a bunch of evidence that was left behind. We didn't know that. We looked at all the evidence and we kept following it until we realized, oh, holy fuck, look at this thing. And it's the same for all of them, especially with anything that's become a scientific theory. And that's the other thing. If anybody ever says X is just a theory, if it has a scientific theory about it, essentially, you can be reasonably certain it's an absolute fact. It is a fact. Evolution is a fact, and the theory of evolution explains it. I decided to make a new universe origin story in the style of Douglas Adams, because someone kept asserting I couldn't disprove their God origin. Yeah, that's quite a good way to explain why. Okay, so you believe that, but you have nothing to back it up. I'm going to say this, and this is what I believe now. And they're going to go, oh, but you can't do that. So, well, you have to prove why what I just said is wrong. if you put some thought into it, it's relatively easy to make an unfalsifiable claim. And that's all you need to do. You need to make something that they can't prove wrong. You go, see, you can make any claim that can't be proven wrong. That's not science. If they're making the assertion that they want to be scientific about it, that's how you potentially demonstrate to them the flaw in their thinking. It doesn't always work. Here's the other thing. Something that I've realized after a lot of time doing what I do and a lot of arguing with a lot of fucking idiots. 95% of them will never be able to understand why they're so wrong and will be 100% convinced everything they say is solid gold. People just be like that. But don't assume that's what they're like, because then you never talk to the 5% who aren't that, who have missed something and are genuinely interested in being as correct as possible and aren't afraid of being wrong. Because a lot of people are afraid of being wrong. Being wrong sucks. And while intellectually we can all say, you know, I want to be corrected, tell me that I'm wrong. Hearing you fucked up and here's why, isn't that fun, but it is something that you have to accept, especially when they're right. And you just need to sit down and spend some time with that information. And most people absolutely hate it. And it can be very difficult. But yeah, if you genuinely want to convince people of things, you just have to remember that they're probably not being wrong on purpose. Like, most people aren't being wrong on purpose. But you will meet time wasters, and you will mostly meet people who are going to have trouble actually understanding anything, especially if you argue in the spheres that I do. It's just a silly thing I came up with. It's very similar to the Mrs Sic persona. Fair enough. Some say the universe came to be when Colin the axolotl ate a particularly bad taco and got explosive diarrhea. This caused the Big Bang, as we all know. The ultimate answer to shit happens. Adorable. I mean, the universe being made of shit is an argument that I've made before. Vinyl is the best musical instrument. See Mixmaster Mike. Fair enough. Or the big squirt theory. I like the small pop theory because it's just a small can of pop. You see, you can't prove there isn't a chocolate teapot that began time and brews universe from time to time. Well, that's very similar to the there's a teapot traveling around, I think, Saturn or something, because it's too small and too far away, and we have no way of detecting such things. It's that kind of argument. I love scratching. Well, don't do it so much that you start to bleed. I have a distinct memory that I have no idea if it was a dream or if it's something I actually did. When my arm was so itchy, I scratched until I bled.
I'm pretty sure it was Bertrand Russell who did the teapot thing.
Yeah. The point being that you can say anything if no one can disprove it. You can literally say anything if there's no way to check. I need to be corrected. Oh, please, please teach me hard, Daddy. You forgot the daddy, and therefore no one cares. I'm curious if anyone has managed to convince a person in an argument. I once did, but we were arguing over factual data. I debunked a misconception about how a vehicle differential works. Yeah, when it's based in facts, it's entirely possible. I have convinced a couple of people. The one that comes to mind is someone was convinced that essentially every atheist had the same worldview and had clearly not spoken to any atheists, or hadn't spoken to any atheists who could engage with them. And I engaged with them, and I broke it down. It's like, okay, so you think that all atheists think X. Well, I'm an atheist and I don't think that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, this. It's like, well, no, I don't think that. Here's what I think. Here's how my worldview goes. And, you know, it might be adjacent to that idea, but it's not that one thing. And I'm not doing this to be an arsehole. This person wasn't a theist as far as I could tell, but they were one of those agnostics. And when I say those agnostics, a lot of you are going, oh, yeah, that guy. I'm an agnostic, and that actually makes me better than all atheists, while I am still functionally an atheist. These people drive me fucking mental. Being an agnostic it's not actually a magic word that means atheist, but better. It just means atheist. If you don't believe in God, you're an atheist. I am also an agnostic, but I identify as an atheist because I don't fucking believe in God. If you don't believe in God, as a matter of fact, the biggest problem that you get to understand where a lot of ideas come from. And one of the biggest problems with atheism for a lot of people is they don't understand that there is there's a philosophical definition of atheism, and then there's a general one that people use to describe themselves. The philosophical one is God does not exist. I don't fucking know anybody who identifies with that on a personal level. They do not believe God exists, and they are not a theist. Atheist means without theism, they are an atheist. It's reasonably simple. And a lot of people, struggle with that idea. You can usually deal with most arguments. You need to be able to deal with most arguments in the realms of God does not exist, and I do not believe God exists, because they are parallel to each other. They exist in the same place, and you have to be able. Try not to get caught up on them saying, oh, you think God doesn't exist. I said, no, I just don't know. Well, you're an agnostic then, and you're just playing semantic word games, and it doesn't fucking get you anywhere. So let's just assume that I believe God doesn't exist, and let's make the arguments from there. You know, I can't prove that, but I don't need to prove that because you have the positive claim anyway. Do either of you have any hardcore believer relatives? Hardcore? Technically, some of my much older relatives would argue that they absolutely believe. Whether or not they're hardcore, they're definitely the kind of Christians that you think, wow, how Christ-like of you, when they do a lot of their actions.
I just have relatives who claim to be Christian.
You have the cultural Christian relatives.
Yeah, the cultural Christians. They claim to be Christian, but they don't follow anything to do with Christianity whatsoever. They just like to say that they are Christian because they were christened, and that's it.
Wow, it's sick. Not on a pre-recorded video. And it'll blow your mind to figure out how I made it so that person commented that, and then I said it shortly after. That's the genius of pre-recorded videos. Yes, there's 6 streams every week for years now. How did you miss this? I'm also an agnostic atheist. I am not convinced by your claims of any deity. I don't know. I'm right to not believe, but if he does exist, he's been shitty with the evidence. Yeah. The way I see it, as a general rule, agnostic describes knowledge claims. Atheist describes a belief claim. When someone says, how do you know atheism is true? Because it is true. It's a fact about me. Now, is God not real? That's actually a slightly different argument. But, yeah. I'd argue that most of my family are cultural Christians. I think a good portion of people are what one would call cultural Christians. That they don't really... Like, if you ask them, does God exist? And they're like, well... Anybody who says, well, as a response to, is God the real, is probably a cultural Christian or a cultural whatever fucking thing, if they say that they're X thing. The holy chap at my mum and dad's church refused to christen for some reason, probably where everything started to go, Chris and me. Why did you have 666 tattooed on your forehead? Because I hate when that happens.
It does depend on church rules. Like some, you have to have one parent who is a member of that specific church, and then you've got other ones where both parents have to be, and then other ones where they don't care. So
I would bet in this day and age they definitely don't care anymore, because most churches are
most of them
dying of
don't.
death.
Most of them don't care, especially in England.
These days they're like, oh yeah, more members now.
Most of them don't care because you pay them to do a baptism.
Yeah, it's more of an event than anything else.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who have both of their kids christened, and they are absolutely atheist just because their family did it and they just don't want the hassle. Like, his mum is Christian and it makes her happy. I would never do that. I would never do something that went against something. And for them, it's a fundamental belief. When I sit and I chat about these ideas with them, they're very much like, oh yeah, X is bullshit, this is bullshit, let's talk about that. They've watched some of my videos and enjoyed them, but they'd rather make their family happy than live by their principles, which, yeah, like that's a way to do it. They know how I feel about it, but I'm not like a dick about it. But I would never do that. It's the kind of thing. It's why it pisses me off recently when people who've never actually been to church start claiming this country is losing its Christianity. Go to church then, Dave. Also, you spelt losing wrong. I think losing might start becoming the spelling.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Loosing or loose instead of lose. It's got one O.
The way to remember it for a lot of people is
Mrs Sic will punch your fucking head off.
Is a moose gets loose because they have two O's in them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a moose and a loose.
Mrs Sic is on a one-woman crusade to stop people using the wrong spelling of lose.
It bothers me so much.
I have Sir Sic tattooed on my forehead.
A goose, yes, goose as well. That has two O's in it.
A moose on a goose is set loose in the hoose. Okay, one of those might be wrong. Is it possible to be an atheist and still believe in odd occurrences, such as predictions from dreams that come true?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, not believing that there is a specific type of supernatural deity, that is to say, a god, doesn't stop you from believing in other types of supernatural. Some people will claim that atheists do not believe in supernatural things at all, which is wrong. Atheists can absolutely have supernatural beliefs. Do I think they're right to do so? No. I don't believe in ghosts. Anything that can't be measured. And I'm not... people love to make stupid semantic arguments. You can't measure a fucking idea. Shut up.
My mum is atheist.
Yeah, but she very
believes in ghosts.
Ghosts and psychics and all sorts of stupid shit. Yeah, you can not believe in God, but believe other things. Atheists can have irrational beliefs. There's absolutely. So yeah, I think that those are wrong too, as a general rule.
It's more in common if somebody has one belief that they're likely to have another, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like always going to be the case.
Blessed are the corset makers, for they shall inhibit the girth. That's pretty good. What's a moose? Is it anything like an animal such as a wombat or a platypus? Is that a fucking joke from something? That feels like a joke from something. I've seen too much weird occurrences to not think the supernatural or paranormal is out there. Okay, I mean, that's fine, and that's your experience. And I can't deny your experience for you for obvious reasons. But I can say, what are those things? And is there another thing that could explain that? There are other ways to explain things. Like, certain weird phenomena that an individual might experience can be explained by certain ways that brains work. Like Mrs Sic gets this weird thing where she sees like bodies in rooms when she lies down sometimes.
Oh no, when it's dark.
Yeah.
Because the light, because of the lack of light in a dark room, my eyes start seeing shadows and people walking around and stuff.
And many moons ago, before she met me, basically, she used to think that it was something spiritual.
Because of my mum.
Yeah, and it's understandable, but that doesn't mean that it's right. And things can be explained by other ways. You basically you kind of have to take Occam's razor to it. Supernatural things, like natural, means everything, means the natural universe and the things that we can see, test, touch, feel, whatever. And supernatural means not the same. Not it's the things that you can't do that to. And if you can't test it, it's probably not real. And if another person can't come in and have the same experience as you, there's a real good chance that there might be something else going on. Whether or not I'm not going to tell you that slap a psychic if they don't duck their fake. Don't slap psychics. Although the best sign that you've ever seen is a sign on the door of a psychic's that says closed due to unforeseen circumstances.
That just reminded me of our one of our friends who went to see a psychic and then ended up sleeping with her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like she didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that was my first joke. The second he said it, I was like, I bet she didn't see that coming. And he was like, for fuck's sake. It's like, you fucking set me up for that, mate. Christ, yeah. Oh my god. I had a paranormal experience before. I saw someone on the way back from work one day, and 3 days later, I found out that he died the day before I saw him. Which is something that there are ways, I assume, that you have rationalized explanations for how that might have happened. Like, did you talk to him or did you see him? Because that's not the same thing for obvious reasons. And also, like, dreams happen and just false memories. There's a lot of things that it could be.
The way that your unconscious mind processes information is insane as well.
When my dad died, my mum was asking him to sing from above, and at that moment, a car cut in front of her had her very name in its number plate. Probs coincidence, but very weird. So that's pattern recognition. Like, this is going to be completely non-paranormal, but is something that proves why it's such an innate human ability to see things once you've started to notice them, or when your brain is in that state. One of my favorite bands is System of a Down. I had never seen in my entire existence another person wearing a System of a Down t-shirt. I bought one. I saw 4 that fucking day, just out and about, walking around. Completely different shirts, but very clearly that band shirt. Now, do you think that was because the god of shirts had come down and blessed those people with awesome t-shirts? Possibly. But more likely, I was going, System of a Down t-shirt, cool, me like have. Ooh, look, I see more with my bran. Like, that's, yeah. And that is commonly, like, association things. Darren Brown is quite good for showing how that can work. Like, Sode is sick. Sode is very sick. But,
you know, the thing that was the Game Changer show.
Oh yeah.
I saw a clip of it, and he said he says, I'm going to do a thing on you, a trick on you to see how you can. I'm gonna make you think of a word. And through the entire show that they were doing, he just kept like dropping hints to the word. And then eventually he's like, right, write your word down and I can tell you psychically what the word is. And he knew what the word was because he's been dropping hints the entire time. And he didn't even realise.
Yeah, people's brains
just,
pick up on things.
Yeah, they absorb things. I'm saying, like, your subconscious mind is always ticking and always collecting to try and make sense of the world.
I quoted Darren Brown. Me and Mrs Sic are psychically linked. Yeah. Oh, there's always an explanation. There's very rare that you can not explain something via a reasonable, more rational thing. It's sometimes fun to believe that there's more. And if you keep having these experiences, and like I said, I'm not going to tell you that what you experience isn't what it is. I could be wrong. Like, there's things about science that we don't know or understand. There could be something that is actually it's natural, but we just don't understand it yet. To put plainly, my belief is that I'm an atheist. I don't believe 100% in supernatural, but I'm open to the possibility it exists. Well, you should be. You should be open to the existence of basically everything. You should just not let it, what do they say? Be careful about keeping your mind open. Your brain might fall out. Like, yeah. I'm completely open to being convinced of anything existing, but my assumption is going to be, if it doesn't make sense in a naturalistic worldview, there's a really good chance that it's probably just misappropriation of.
Oh, that's a good question.
What's that?
Do you fear death? No.
I used to. I'm not super hyped about the idea.
I used to as well, but that's only because from about the age of 7 years old, I was convinced that I was going to die before I was 18.
And then she met me and she wished she died.
No, I didn't meet you. But I got to about.
She met me when she was 19, and then she wished she was dead.
I got to about 14, and I stopped being scared because I was like, I just became convinced it was going to happen. I was like, well, it's going to happen now. I can't stop it from happening. It will happen eventually.
Crook, just to let you know, I wasn't quoting Tim Minchin. Be careful about keeping your mind. Having an open mind, your brain might fall out, is much older than Tim Minchin. It's quite an old saying.
But yeah, I basically got to the point where I stopped having the fear of it because I was living in it for so often. I got to the point where I had the realization of, like, I literally do not have any control of when I die. So I don't. It just became a non-fear. That's probably why I went into. I'm very existentialist, but I don't fear death.
One of the ones that I had, I wasn't really afraid of death. I was afraid of oblivion. So I'm not. I wasn't. I was afraid of not existing. Essentially, I no longer have strictly that fear. Again, I quite enjoy living, and I want to do it as long as possible. I'd like to do it long enough to be sick of it, and then, haha, so sick. And that would be what I consider like a good run. But I'm no longer afraid of oblivion, because part of it is that life is suffering, and that is a fact for a lot of people. And if I'm as achy as I am now, I'm going to be a lot fucking achier, a lot more pains, a lot more aches, a lot more just days that are shit when I'm much older. And the fact that someday that won't happen anymore is somewhat of a relief. Like the whole idea of like a heaven. I think I've said this in a video before. Like, I have an anxiety disorder that also causes me quite severe problems with like roller coasters. If you put me on a roller coaster that was forever, it would be one of the most miserable experiences ever. In fact, for most people, it'd be a pretty miserable experience to just be on a roller coaster forever. The fact that it would stop at some point is the good thing, is the good bit of that. But that's not to say that I'm wanting it to end right now. I'm quite enjoying a lot of it. Some of it not so much, but generally speaking, I'd like to see how it plays out. I'm going to live forever. I just need to find a vampire. Time is running out. Yeah. Another thing I've said is that desperately clawing to keep a few more minutes of life is a bit of a fool's game as well. That isn't to say that you shouldn't like be healthy, but like the people who are like trying to extend their life by like multiple decades are almost certainly not going to do that. And the time they spend doing the things they do to make that happen, they could have spent enjoying it instead.
There was a guy who was obsessed with trying to prolong his life, and he's actually give himself like a severe liver and kidney issue.
Yeah.
Because he was like doing all these like weird pills and stuff to
try. Yeah, he did so much shit to himself. He actually made his life shorter.
Yeah.
Big smart. Basically, if you live healthy or as healthy as you can, that's probably the best life extension that you can get, and you could still die tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Someone wishing
happy
the birthdays. Don't forget that when you wish a happy birthday with money, it's better. My grandfather died at age 66. My dad died at 66. I gave my wife a promise. I won't die. Now I'm immortal until I'm 67. Yes, I have chosen my own death. I'm going to be immortal until I die. I mean, that is technically true. I don't fear death, but I have realized that one, it's kind of the point, and two, if I miss it because I'm asleep or some bullshit, I'm going to be pissed. You want to know your death, as in you want to experience your death. That's an interesting take. Not one I've heard before. Most people want to die in their sleep for a very good reason. But I guess it is an experience that you're only going to get to do once. And if you do it while you're asleep, it's like, we went to see a movie and I slept through it. Would fucking be shit. As long as it wasn't a painful death, in some ways, I kind of get the appeal. But I would definitely rather die in my sleep and not screaming like the other 3 passengers in the car. How are you able to age in reverse 1 year today? You're not, and no one is. And anyone who says they can is probably trying to sell you a supplement. Byron Johnson has product that's labeled snake oil. I almost don't have a problem with that. It's like having a Bitcoin called Rug Coin, where you say, we are going to rug pull you. This is what it's about. But you shouldn't do that because people will try and make money off it anyway, and people will get fucking hurt by it anyway. Sick. Some people die multiple times. Those lucky bastards. I'm okay. I'm going Ron Swanson and cracking a Lavoine. Lagulian. I know it's Lagulian. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Is it French?
I used to be out. No, it's a whiskey. It's Scottish. I'm pretty sure it's a Scotch.
The way your sounded is very French.
I can't remember. Lagavulin. I used to be able to pronounce all the whiskies when I worked in pubs. Not so much now. Fun fact, I dislike many Scotch whiskies, especially peaty ones. They are fucking gross. I don't know how anybody wants to drink TCP, but apparently it's a popular flavour. Can you say burglar alarm? I can say purple burglar alarm, yes, quite easily, because I'm not Scottish. I died twice. There's nothing there. Is that because you stole it all? Damn Bruce Wayne. That's why he's rich. He robbed the afterlife, the bastard. Oh, this is super petty. Lol. Petey? PT, yes. PT whiskey tastes like medicine, and not in a fun way.
Is it made with peat?
Yes, it's made from shit that's grown in like marshes.
Oh, right, okay.
So it has a very strong peaty flavor. Why is YouTube showing ads? Because I have ads on for my streams, because I don't know why I bother. They make almost no money. But it's one of those things that I never think to turn off, because I'm usually these streams aren't good. Watch the whole ad, not that you can hear me. Snake oil was real traditional Chinese medicine and got the reputation for people selling fake snake oil. That kind of makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, if snake oil, I don't know exactly what snake oil is supposed to be, but like there's shit that you can get out of a snake that would work as medicine. Like, they have extremely strong toxins, and the classic phrase is, it's the dose that makes the poison. So there's a lot of things that you could get out of a snake that could be used in tiny, tiny fucking amounts to heal people. It's like smoked peat too, probably. But whatever it is, it tastes like TCP, and it's fucking disgusting. And the fact that people enjoy it blows my goddamn mind. Sic, what's your favourite whiskey? I would say that Bullet Bourbon is probably my favourite at this point. It's the one that I enjoy the most. So it's a bourbon, so it's not a Scotch, because you used an E there, which means either Kentucky straight or Irish.
Traditional snake oil from Chinese medicine
Okay.
was originally used for inflammation of joints, especially it was effective at treating arthritis and can never pronounce this one, bursitis.
Okay.
And it's because the snakes have a lot of omega-3 fatty acid components.
Oh, so it's like fish oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it lubricates your joints.
Fair enough. That makes a certain sense. Like, most things that you can get out of an animal or a plant or something could potentially have an application within the human body.
But then when it went over to America, they started selling fraudulent versions to Chinese immigrants.
Dying in your sleep, a good way to go. Dying anesthetized, maybe not so much. There is something subtly unsettling about the idea of dying. Well, because basically it gives the when you're going into hospital to get treated for something, the assumption is, even if it's not necessarily 100% or not even close to 100%, but the reason you're doing it is so that you get up afterwards. So dying in surgery is basically like one of the shittest ways to go, just from a perspective point. But yeah, not that most people are expecting to die in their sleep. I mean, to be fair, I have an anxiety disorder. I often go to sleep thinking, am I going to die tonight? And then I don't. I kind of got mostly over that in my 20s, because it didn't happen enough times that I went, do you know what? It's probably not going to happen. And when it does, it'll have happened and I'm not going to fucking know. My favourite whiskey is Jack Daniel's Honey Whiskey, but my favourite drink is a gin cream Coke float. I don't know how you can drink honey whiskey. It is too fucking sweet for me. And I have a bit of a sweet tooth. I love sweet things. Although I guess I'm a lot more into savoury. If you had like pork pie, favourite flavour Jack Daniels, I don't know.
You're obsessed with pork
I
pies.
fucking love pork pies, but you just can't fucking eat them. It's 1,500 calories for one that's not even that big. That's like nearly a day's worth of calories in a single tiny fucking snack. I literally stopped eating them because of that. It's like, I'm already fat enough. If I started just eating pork pies on the regs, I'd be fucked. But they are so fucking tasty. Snakes are notoriously low-fat animals, but they do have some. Oil is refined fat, food-wise, and part of why it costs so damn much. It's akin to why nut milks are silly. Nut milks is just cum. Come on, that's what it is.
I do like an oat milk.
If you ferment a human and drink it, you'll probably mess you up real bad. Fermented human does sound like something. Bourbon isn't a fucking whiskey. It's made from corn. It's closer to brandy. How dare you?
Don't know if it's an urban legend, but it probably is true to a certain extent, where you get like people making soap out of human's fat.
You say it's closer to bourbon, closer to brandy. I'm okay with brandy, but I 100% prefer bourbon by a big fucking margin. Also, I recently tried fucking.
Really? That's nice.
I tried fucking. It was great. 2 kids happened. That was unexpected and annoying. I say recently. That was like fucking 10 years ago. My kids are... Oh, are they taller than you yet?
Very close.
Very close. They've been fucking threatening it for years now, to be honest. Mrs Sic isn't... I know, I can't use that word anymore. She's not tall.
I'm a short.
She's a short. The bourbon equivalent of Irish cream. Bourbon cream. There you go. It was very interesting. It was based on Buffalo Trace, which is a whiskey I quite like. But for some reason, whereas almost every single Irish cream tastes very, very chocolatey, for some fucking reason, this specific bourbon cream, I don't know if it's common to bourbon creams, but it tastes like fucking strawberries. It tastes like strawberry milkshake. You had some and you had the similar conclusion about it.
Yeah, it tastes a bit weird, strawberry.
It tastes...
Like fake strawberry.
Yeah. Which was super weird because I've relatively recently had a rum liqueur, which was supposed to be strawberry, and it's fucking pink like a strawberry milkshake and is very nice. And having that expectation that it would taste like strawberries, it tasted incredibly similar. It was dead man's fingers or something. But it was nice. And yeah, I wasn't expecting that from the bourbon cream. Not unpleasant, very enjoyable liqueur. But at least for the Buffalo Trace one, expect that strawberry flavor. Don't expect it to be chocolatey like Irish cream. I guess part of it is just to distinguish it from Irish cream, because I think it might taste quite similar, to be honest. I had a pot pie. I was disappointed. There was no pot in it. It wasn't even made of pot. God damn. Dead man's fingers isn't that mushroom. It's dead man something. It's got a skull on it and it's a rum. The distillation of liquor is basically all the same. It's the root ingredients that designate the title. Yeah. And some of them are tastier than others. Some of them are kind of fucking gross, and some of them are really good. Are you taller than 4'10", Mrs Sic? If yes, you're taller than my ex. He didn't like me calling him Frodo.
You're gonna have to if somebody's that small.
Yeah. As long as they can take it on the chin, which you'd have to be like kneeling down to do that. But no, like I guess it's heightism. As someone who's 6'3", I've never experienced it. People go, apart from fucking hell, he's big. I've heard that a number of times, but like the vast majority of people are shorter than me. Although it feels like there's a lot more people my height or taller than there used to be. I don't know, and it makes me mad. I've met a few people who are much taller than me, and they freak me the fuck out. But yeah, try not to be mean to our lower statured brethren. They did not choose to be that height, and there's literally nothing they can do about it, and anything they do about it will be considered cringe. So having like height extension surgery is considered cringe, and that's mean and fucked up. But it is what it is. Society is one of those things that does things. Keith, okay, bongo rabbit. That was a sentence. Rabbits contain no carbohydrates. If you live on just rabbits and eat loads of it, you'll die of starvation. Few potatoes with it, you'll be fine. Yes. Yeah. Rabbit on its own doesn't contain enough nutrition to keep a person alive. You have to eat lots of things with them, otherwise you're fucked. But they do contain nutrition on their own. People got confused with that you shouldn't eat rabbit at all. It's like, no, you can eat it. It needs other things. It has protein. It will give you food, but you need more than just that. I've met a few women who are taller than me. I've only met a handful of women who are taller than me. One of them at the same time I met the guy who was like 7'8", and he was with a woman who was like 7'5". As I was looking up at both of them, like madness. But yeah, a friend brought his 7'2" friend over, mainly to scare my 4'9" missus. Protein. Yeah. Eat rabbit with celery. That's my new weight loss plan. I mean, you definitely not have enough nutrition in you, that's for sure. When I was in my 20s, I decided that I was going to lose weight by eating nothing but celery for 2 meals a day. That did not last. I got very fucking bored of it very fucking quickly. I'm only 6'7" in my boots. Every hug was face to tit. Do you mean only 6'7" is very tall? I'm assuming you mean 5'7". Unless you do mean that. Where fucking hell. Depends how big the boots are, I guess. I'm so bored. Talk about Egypt. It's your birthday. I was saying, someone give her a bunch of money, or give me a bunch of money, I suppose, and then I'll let her talk about Egypt for 5 minutes. That sounds like a good deal, doesn't it?
I'm not allowed to. I've been programmed not to do. It's something I keep to myself, apparently.
It's not that you have to keep it to yourself. It's that sometimes when we're streaming, I can't get you to stop. And then it goes on for multiple minutes, and the rest of chat's like, okay, right. Let's be frank, this isn't called the Egypt stream. It's not what people are generally here for. But I do sometimes let you have a little chat, say a little love, get down tonight. My high school gym teacher was 6'7". She was gorgeous but intimidating. Fair enough. I'm the tallest person in my family. Each generation in my family is taller than the last, I'm assuming you meant. It's like the March of Progress evolution diagram when we're all together. That's cute. What a time for an advert. Do I mean what? I mean, there are no adverts. Everybody knows. Birthday drinks for Mrs Sic. She can certainly have them if she wants.
I had one.
Yeah. Less talking, please, Sir Sic, and more whiskey drinking. I have been drinking whiskey this whole time.
I've been drinking the whole time.
Why everyone talk about Egypt? Do I not know something important about Mrs Sic? Mrs Sic's hyper focus, because she has a little bit, at least, of the autism.
You don't have a little bit of autism.
She has a little bit.
You either are autistic or you're not.
She has a little bit of the autism. And if you get her started on Egypt, she literally won't stop until stopped, because she likes to talk about it.
I don't get to talk about it very often.
Well, you got to talk about it a lot early days, and then I had to put my foot down. And these days, I feel more and more mean about it.
This is why I need to play an Egyptian game on my channel.
Yeah. She's got her own channel. She can literally talk about whatever she wants.
Yeah,
but because Dark Souls isn't Egypt themed, she can't do it.
No, because it's context.
We need to get a mod that makes it all look Egypt themed, but all be slightly wrong, so you have lots to complain about.
Oh no, that would drive me mad.
Would that be bad?
Yeah.
What if it got most things right, but just gave you enough to complain about?
It would still bother
Sen's
me.
Fortress, but it's a pyramid. Still with giant swinging axes from the ceiling, which would be 100% historically accurate Egypt shit. At Zach, are you an admin here? No one is an admin here. He has a wrench, but that doesn't mean that he's a mod. He has a wrench from the old days when we may or may not have had a reason to give them away, but then I found out that I wasn't supposed to do that, so I stopped. The people who have them until they use them and lose them, and that's it. The only mods are me and Mrs. You're modded on the channel, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. The only mods who are allowed to do anything are me and Mrs. Sic. Whereas Mrs. Sic has mods on her channel as actual mods, like a mad lad. But that's mostly because she's actually fucking doing something, and very occasionally people turn up and spam. But it almost never happens.
True. Hyde's Tower was Egyptian adjacent. I did see some things in there that were kind of Egypt-like.
It's your birthday. You could do whatever you want. It is my channel.
It's technically not my birthday yet.
And it's not her birthday yet. I'll tell you what. It's going to be her birthday in 55 minutes. She can literally talk as much about Egypt as she wants for however long. And then we'll go to bed. I have completely arbitrary power. You have literally no power. And you know this. The only power you have is to lose your wrench. Because anything that you do, I will reverse. And I will also take away your wrench. And then you won't have a wrench anymore.
You know that with great power comes great consequences.
With great power comes no responsibility, power, actions, ability to do anything or affect anything anywhere forever. But you do get a nice shiny blue wrench. I would love to learn more about this Egypt thing. You should have put it in air quotes. That would have been funny. As if you don't know what Egypt is. Which I guess there's got to be someone out there who's never heard of Egypt. But can you imagine? Take away my wrench? You don't have a wench. I see what you did there. I don't want your wench plow king. You're clearly the best at plowing.
Mrs. Sic's mods block people for not liking Dragon Ball Z.
Is that true? Oh, it was a joke, wasn't it? And then you didn't end the stream.
Corny gets very passionate.
Yeah.
About people not liking things.
Yeah. If anybody ever was an actual mod on this channel, it'd have the same rules as they are on Mrs. Sic's channel. Anybody can say anything they want. They just can't spam like an arsehole, and they can't be abusive. And not liking something that you like doesn't count as abusive.
Apparently my birthday already happened because time zones.
Oh, whose time zone, though?
But I thought the Earth was flat.
Other people's time zones don't count. We're at Greenwich Mean Time. We're at 0. Actually, technically, we're at +1. But we're in England. We're in the main time zone. And that's all that matters. It means that we're the most important. I'm far too lazy to mod a channel. It reeks of effort. Yeah, it absolutely would be. Being mod for anything. Like, it's fun to have power. What drives me crazy, and this is... I want to say that it's no slight on these channels, but no shade on these channels, but it is a little bit. When you go to a stream, and they've got a decent number of people, like, in the stream, but absolutely everybody is a mod in the stream. And then I hate it when that happens, and I go in, and I get immediately modded, and I try to get rid of it because then I'll look special. I mean, one of my favorite things about being a YouTuber with a decent enough following is when I go to other people's channels, I get a little tick. I get a special thing, and it's petty and it's pointless and it doesn't really matter, but it's a nice to have. Verification. Like, there's a reason people want it. There's a reason why people actually pay for it on stupid places that let you. I have a wrench on Dan's channel. I only flex it if people start getting too salty. As long as you're following the rules of being a mod on it, then I'm sure it's fine.
What is your opinion on the news of some people have discovered something underneath the pyramids recently? I think it's BS. Well, what have they discovered? Because as far as I know, it's empty.
Dude, you live up north. Time zone.
Jesus.
Oh, I did not expect that. I did try to sneeze away from you all, but that was probably loud. I have very powerful sneeze. The time zone is in Yorkshire. It is not a different. It is GMT all the way down. It's not GMT. It's I could be British Standard Time. British Standard Time is the same as GMT. I'm reasonably sure. Could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong, but it all looks the same. Ah, damn it! That's not the right thing. That's Edge. I want a Chrome tab so I can actually search the internet properly. Is North in GMT? It doesn't say.
They supposedly discovered some mile-long tunnels or something. Okay. The only thing I'm aware of is that they found the remnants of like a dead river that was like an offshoot from the Nile, which no longer exists.
Yes, up north is in GMT. Shut up.
But they think that's how they carried supplies away from the Nile to the pyramid, is because there was actually a waterway.
BST is not British summertime, it's British standard.
I haven't heard anything about tunnels, though.
There are no tunnels in Egypt. That's a fact backed up by science. The pyramids are just big pieces of cardboard. BST is... I mean, I'm sure there's a BST that is British summertime, but I'm pretty sure that the time... I thought it was British standard. Now I have to look that up as well. God damn it, people. What does bust mean? Motherfucker, it means British summertime. Ah, that's embarrassing. I didn't know a thing.
Is that like when we were in the daylight savings thing?
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay.
But it's all GMT. And it's GMT +1. There are no ants in Scientology. Are you saying because Scientology or just being a dick?
Scientology.
British sick time. Correct. That is what it should be. And I would definitely get rid of daylight savings. Not because I understand that there's arguments for and against. I don't care. I just find it inconvenient for me specifically, and that's why it should be gotten rid of. Which is the argument for many things. What do they say? Vote in whatever way affects you directly. And things that affect you directly also include whether or not you care about other people. So bear that in mind. But yeah, Arizona is best. We don't have that stupid clock changing. You don't even have clocks in Arizona, do you? You don't even know what they are. What time it is, and you look up at the sky and go, sun out, day. Ooh. I assume that's what the Arizonian accent is like. 4chan got massively hacked the other day, and it looks like it'll never recover. I've heard something about it. I don't know what it means specifically, but I'm sure I'll find out eventually. YouTube is very predictable when it comes to the quote-unquote big news. Roger that just had a big message that I started to read, and then he fucking deleted it like a coward. Never delete your messages. At the very least, retract them. If you made a mistake, just fucking put a correction underneath.
Can you lower your voice a bit, please?
And if you said something really stupid that you shouldn't have said, just make an actual retraction. Bah, I mod myself. How dare you? If I could take away your modding privileges, I would. Make it so that no one can mod themselves, so they can't delete their own messages. Everything you said stays forever. I just want either my local noon to be as close to solar noon as possible, or no time zones at all. Are you in one of those places where noon isn't actually where the sun is at its highest? Because that has to be pretty fucking confusing. All I need to know is that I'm 14 hours behind Western Australia. I like to hang out with Aussies on the net. I feel like that used to be more of a big deal. It used to be more of a big deal to be up and about wherever you were. A lot of the time, where the Americans were, because in the early days of the internet, if you didn't know any Americans, you didn't know anybody online. Like, I had 3 English friends in my online friend group and about 20 Americans and people from, and a few Germans and other things. But like the vast majority of people, if you wanted to hang out in chat rooms with anyone to talk to, you had to make sure you were up when the Americans were up.
As a British person, do you always prefer British words and spellings like colour, tyre and centre? You mean properly? Like,
as a British person,
like
do I like it when words
spelt words?
As a British person, do I prefer it when words are correct? I guess.
Says the one who says bastardized language all the time.
Yeah, but that's not like a difference between American and British. That's just sickish for a lot of it. Isn't it BLT? No, that's bacon, lettuce, and tomato. I mean, BLT standard time sounds pretty good. Oh, well, BLT time. Take 2. Britain doesn't have summer. It has 2 seasons. One is called rain. The other 3 days are called when the bloody hell is that thing in the sky. I mean, that's pretty close. Although occasionally we do have a slightly extended summer, and then it's like, why won't the big fucking Bernie ball go away? 2 days of fucking unattractive men taking their shirts off while walking around in public, which I will never understand. Even if I had the body of Adonis, I'd still keep a fucking shirt on. I can only mod myself once a day. Do you mod yourself to climax?
What?
Late to the show, but happy early birthday, Mrs Sic. You're not late to the show. The show would have finished over an hour ago. You completely fucking missed it. It just happens to be a long one. Did the Pope really die yesterday, right after his Easter Mass? It was also after he met J.D. Vance, which is very, very funny. J.D. Vance is the vice president. I'm assuming you don't know that, babes.
I don't do politics.
So, yeah, the vice president of America met the Pope, and then the Pope immediately died. And then a bunch of memes came out with him stood over the Pope with a scythe.
Oh, my God.
And it's very funny. Bro, yours airport melted when you got summer. I mean, yeah. The problem with the UK and most of Europe is that all the buildings are designed to keep heat in at any cost. So as soon as the weather, basically, as global climate change made it generally hotter, the hotter summers have been fucking brutal. I was an early adopter of air conditioning, so we've actually survived it mostly. Apparently, the Pope lectured him on compassion first. Makes sense. JD would take him out. Oof.
Oh my God.
You're way too sober to be streaming this long. I mean, you know how to fix that. The only son, although to be fair, technically, if you buy drinks today, that should really go to Mrs Sic.
Oh no.
But she wouldn't drink them. She'd make me drink them. She always does that. The only son in the UK is used to is well known for having tits, cheap holidays to France, and casual racism. Oh, wait, the Sun. Okay. God. I remember the day they had a free copy out and you just walked into the fucking, I want to call it a paper station. Newsagents.
Paper station. That works.
And newsagents. Do newsagents even exist anymore? Like Martins. Got lots of random crap in them. But just pick up a newspaper and leave and then bring it to school and show your mates, look, some boobs. And we're all like, oh my God, boobs. A more innocent time. More innocent boobies.
You know, there was a whole, like, thing about page 3 girls.
Yeah.
And that, how it was exploitative and things like that. Because there could be girls as young as 16 in there.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So they changed their policies later on because everyone was complaining. you have to be over 18, and they have to include excerpts about what the woman in the picture likes to do.
Oh, right, like her
Like,
interests and
this
hobbies.
is Crystal. She likes sunbathing on the beach, and she enjoys holidays in
I can
France.
just see a guy jacking it off over it. So, oh, she likes holidays on the beach. I feel like, no. Happy birthday, missus. I hope Sarah gets you something special and then gets blinding drunk in honor of the days. I mean, it will be a Tuesday, and as we all know, Tuesday day is the day to get very drunk. I got her something special. She has the privilege of me.
I am the gift.
I am always the gift. And the thing is, that sounds like a sarcastic thing, but she'd be like, yeah, that sounds good. Hanging out with me is like one of her favorite things to do.
Yes.
So, in a sense, this is kind of a gift for her.
Sort of.
But the gift I gave her was hundreds of pounds worth of computer hardware. That was her birthday present.
No, the birthday present, which is we went to the art gallery, but then you speed run the art gallery, and I was like, right,
I didn't realise that was your birthday present. But
this is like a present to myself because I get to spend 2 hours walking around.
I mean,
looking at art.
Would you have wanted me to be in agony next to you?
No.
No.
I don't mind.
No.
It's just I wanted to go look at the art. That was my present.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
And I spent £10 on a single coffee and a fucking brownie.
Pretentious art
The
coffee.
brownie was really, really good. The mocha coffee was trash. It had a heart drawn on it, but other than that, it was shit. Do not give me a mocha that doesn't taste like fucking chocolate. It's
not a mocha. It's just
not a mocha.
Then.
It's a mocking of me and the concept of chocolate flavored drinks. You should take her mod away.
The worst one Son ever did was include the girl's dad in the picture as well.
Oh my
Staring
god.
at her boobs. Oh my god.
That's just really fucking weird. But yeah.
Was it a special bro? Unfortunately, no.
Oh no. I bought it from a fucking cafe. I didn't bring a hash brownie to just sit and get. To be fair, getting stoned and then wandering around, just completely munted. A lot of it was curtains for some reason, and not in a fun way.
It wasn't a lot of it. It's just that's what you remember.
It was literally a room filled with nothing but fucking curtains.
There was like 4 pictures of curtains.
That's a lot of curtains. That's a lot of pictures, paintings of curtains.
There was like 4 paintings of curtains. Most of it was like the huge part of the gallery was like surreal, like water-based art.
The best painting was the one by Salvador Dali. Shockingly.
Yeah, it's one.
It's almost like he was talented or something.
I really liked that one.
I didn't realise that's who it was, but after she came out, she said, "Oh, I saw this, this, and this," and then there was a Salvador Dali one that was good, and I was like, "What was that?" She showed me, and went, "Oh, I spent ages looking at that one. That's a really good picture." If you want an Egypt game to play on stream, look at Forewarned. It's an Egyptian Tomb Raider horror game with mummies, traps, and fun. I mean, there's always Tomb Raider. I avoid brownies. Friend gave me one. Already low blood pressure. Crashed. Are you talking about pot brownies or just brownies in general? Because I would hope that a normal brownie wouldn't just fucking kill you. Sic just doesn't have any class. I have plenty of class. I also have plantar fibers. I have things on the bottom of my feet that make standing up agony.
Thank you for my birthday pie, Zach. I appreciate it.
So yeah, I literally cannot walk around a gallery for a long time period. So I speed run the whole place. This particular artist was very into them. Mrs Sic, chug chug chug. I mean, that is her third name or whatever.
Can I have a Beppis?
Mm-hmm. Do you want just a Beppis?
Yeah. I have to be up and streaming tomorrow.
So don't have this?
Oh, just a Beppis.
But it's got caffeine in it.
Not that much.
I wouldn't have it now if I were you.
No, caffeine makes me sleepy.
Okay. If that keeps you up, you don't get to be mad about it.
It won't keep me up. Caffeine makes me sleepy.
But this will be the situation which it doesn't. I mean, we'll see. We're doing science now.
Why do I usually avoid having too much caffeine? Because I end up having a nap.
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and it annoys me. So I like to limit my caffeine so I don't fall asleep.
Assassin's Creed Origins, that shit's fun. You can surf down the pyramid. You can, but it's also got a lot of inaccuracies. She did enjoy when I played it and would spend time just looking at what they did for the artwork in them. Do you want to borrow my wife's wheelchair?
I don't require it, no thank you.
No, for me. Because of my feet. No, I'm perfectly able to walk around.
If he would get anything, it won't be one of those mobility scooters.
I'd get a mobility scooter with off-wheel, off-wheel drive.
That go 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, in the same town that we went to the art gallery in, we were walking down one of the roads, and this fucking 80-year-old was belting down the road where all the pedestrians were, having to fucking swerve and dodge people. It's like, I get that mobility scooters are supposed to increase your mobility. They're not supposed to make you fucking 100 times faster than everybody else. I feel like that's too fast. Doesn't your wife need it, Mr. Toffees? All right, Right, about the wheelchair. Yeah, she probably needs it. Or is this to punish her? I mean, it's the thing where the concept that you wear glasses, and for some people, people think it's completely acceptable to take your glasses from you and to start wearing them and then tell you how blind you are. They get really fucking salty when you knock them out of their wheelchair, and start telling them how disabled they are. For some reason, that's not cool, but it's perfectly fine the other way.
Assassin's Creed Origins, that shit's fun. You can stuff down the pyramid. Yeah. My only problem with it is...
Is she repeating what I said earlier? Let's see.
What?
I started talking about it and what your problem with it was.
My problem is it's the wrong... It's not the right time frame that I prefer. So I like the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom is sort of where I like that period of time in the Egyptian history. But the problem with the Assassins one, it's based in Ptolemaic times, which is when the Greeks invaded, and I have no interest.
Yeah. She very, very specifically despises when Greek names are used for Egyptian gods instead of the proper names. And that's fully understandable. At least it wasn't that Tate Modern bollocks with the unmade bed. I kind of like that stuff.
I like Tate Modern. It's weird.
I find
some of it is really fucking pretentious, but other times it's just weird.
I find it fun to do the bullshit derivative. And with real art, you can't. Well, actually, with painted art, it's harder to do that because you understand that it took at least some semblance of ability. But with things like Tate modern art things where it's like an unmade bed, it's easier to do that, but also it can be interesting to go, but what are they trying to say? Last time I went to the Tate Modern, there was a room absolutely like a fucking, because the Tate Modern is in a I can't think of the word. Not used anymore. Fucking power station.
There's loads of Tate Moderns.
There's a specific one in London.
Yeah, there's one in London, but there's a lot of there's
so the one that matters, the Tate Modern that matters is the one that is in London, and it's a disused power station. So some of the rooms are ridiculously fucking tall, and one of them, there's this room just filled with boxes, and you can go in it from the ground, and you could go in it from really high above. Decommissioned, that's the word I was looking for. Disused is more like
abandoned.
Yeah. falling apart. That place, at least last I was there, wasn't falling apart. Yeah, modern art can be fun.
Mrs Sic, what is your opinion on the British Museum and giving back artifacts? I think that the British Museum should be happy in the idea to start sharing. There should be a sharing thing going on, because there's certain artifacts in the British Museum which they do not want to like
let go of.
Yeah, they don't want to lend out or like give back.
I think that giving. I think they should give things back that aren't theirs. Ultimately,
there should be a rotation of like knowledge sharing so that people around the world can experience different cultures.
Yeah.
But the idea of clinging on to things which were clearly not yours or illegally obtained back in the day is ridiculous.
Yeah. What is ideal is that these artifacts travel from place to place and everybody can access them in different things. I do think that artifacts from certain countries, while they should be under the control of that country, it would be good and it would be nice for it to be everywhere. These comments are so random. These streams are generally very, very fucking random. That's what people enjoy about them. If you drink coffee regularly, you do get sleepy as you go later into the night. I surely do. I mean, you can do, and sometimes it can wake you the fuck up.
So, like, they have the Papyrus of Annie, which is one of the most intact versions of the Book of the Dead.
Mm.
And Wallace Budge in all of his glory, because it comes in a giant scroll. But he said, this giant scroll is ridiculous. I can't study this. So he chopped it up into pieces.
That's fucked.
Yeah, and it's just like, the thing is, it was probably... the way he got it as well is very fucking sketchy. He like he paid people to break it out of like a sealed, a secure spot in order to get it. But he claimed that it was, oh, I found it in a rubbish pile. Yeah, but anyway, they chopped that up and they kept that, and I think they still keep that, and I think they should give that back to Egypt, because that is like a highly cultural item that is on.
I had to go to the Tate several times a year when I studied my degree. I studied contemporary dance from 2002 to 2008. Not so contemporary anymore. Did my BA and MA in London Contemporary Dance School. Lots of crazy. Did you do interpretive dance? Were you dressed up as a butterfly and then fell to the floor looking sad? I'm not saying that it's not a real degree, because I cannot judge that. But I'm assuming you've seen people who did some very silly things and thought, my God, that's kind of silly. The Field Museum in Chicago got an amazing Egyptian exhibit on loan. Not the big fancy stuff, but normal everyday wares and artifacts. As long as you have like basically enough of it, that can be really, really interesting. Like, it's all well and good having like some fucking sarcophagus of some famous fucker. But it's like, there's only so much you can get out of that. And if that's all you've got, who gives a shit? The day-to-day stuff is far more interesting. More to speedrun as well.
You're obsessed with speedrunning museums.
I'm obsessed with getting what I want out of it. And we do museums very differently. And that's fine. I wouldn't
Especially if there's an Egyptian section, I tend to spend a lot of time in there.
Yeah, she will spend absolutely ages. I used to try and go at her speed, and it would drive me completely fucking bananas. Especially if there was nowhere to sit. That is the worst. And now, she's happy to look at what she wants, and I just speed run everything, and I look at everything, and I go, okay. And then if there's anything that interests me, I stop and look at it for a while. But not everything interests me, and that's fine. And yeah, I can't stay on my feet for super long time periods. Otherwise, I will literally be in screaming agony. Go back to the time of Seti the First. I would do, but my time machine is broken. Interpretive dance, still a better degree than Kent Hovind has. Oh, 110%. Jesus Christ. 1,000%. My God. Although, I would kind of like to see him dance. Just to say I'd seen it. Mrs Sic, Mr. and Mrs Sic, or at Mr. and at Mrs. at Sir Sic. That is the most confusing way to put that. Do you like to take photographs in museums? Not really.
Yes.
She does, apparently. No flash photography.
I never use flash anywhere. Flash is horrendous. Why would anybody use it?
But for me, it's like, well, there'll be better photos of it on the website of the place, so I can get it from there. And to me, and this is purely personal, absolutely not a judgment of anyone who does take photos, stares at Mrs. Sic. But it feels like it's wrong, even though it doesn't really matter. But my brain is like, no, you go there to look at it with your eyes. But yeah. If it was a place that you could only see it once and it wasn't anywhere else, I'd be more inclined. But I think I'd be more inclined to film it in that regard.
You don't really need flash these days.
No. Cameras are so much better at capturing light than they used to be. But yeah, the flash photography is terrible.
Of course. I make sure that it's allowed. There's certain places that you're not allowed to take photos because of
copyright.
Partly copyright. I think partly as well is because they want people to pay to take photos of certain things.
Yeah. Or for you to like buy prints.
Yeah, they want you to buy it as well. So like I understand that because obviously in order to keep the place running, they need to make their money somehow.
All right, talk about art more for a minute because I need a pee. And I'm allowed to need a pee. It's been nearly 3 hours.
Do I have to talk about art?
You could talk about Egypt for a few minutes. What is your favourite Egypt?
That doesn't make any sense.
What is your favourite pyramid and why?
Doja Pyramid?
Why?
Because it was one of the first ones.
Okay, talk about it. What's your favourite thing about it?
Oh my God, that's weird. I'm not used to not talking about it. Well, the Doja Pyramid is the step pyramid. It was like one of the earliest designs for, I think it is the earliest design for an actual pyramid. That was the first one that was built. I can't remember if that one was the one that was designed by Imhotep, or apparently designed by Imhotep, because he was experimenting with building things. What is your favourite Egypt is a valid question. the Egyptian one? Does that count? Some art festivals events do allow photography because the photos that can be sent offshore copy artists to make the copies. Oh. What is your favourite part of the Book of the Dead? That's kind of a like. Typically, I like the. There's a bit in the Book of the Dead where it discusses how the people who fail the test to when they get their heart weighed and their heart will get eaten.
You fail it.
You fail it, yeah. The heart will get eaten by a moot. It was the crocodile amalgamation of a crocodile, leopard, and lion, I think. And then if you fail that, your heart will get eaten, but your soul will remain in the land of the dead. And one of the ideas is that your soul would like wander through the underworld, so lost forever. And then there's other versions where are like you will burn in pits of fire instead. And I was like, that kind of reminds me of a very Christian concept.
How many pyramids are there in Egypt? 7.
I think that's actually quite close.
That was a guess, so I am amazing. Mm. What do you think about artifacts being put at risk by giving them back to unstable countries? I mean, I would imagine that unstable countries
never
probably
mind.
have other shit going on.
There are at least 138 pyramids identified in Egypt.
738. It's basically the same number.
Well, I was thinking of like the ones that are actually intact, not the ones that are like collapsed.
How many pyramids do people give a shit about? 7. Yeah.
Because I know they have found bases for pyramids, but there's just nothing on top.
Considering that
60...
Egypt is your hyperfocus, the fact that you didn't know how many pyramids there were.
Well, no, my
pyramids aren't your hyperfocus. I get it.
No, mythology is my hyperfocus. Yeah. I just like things to do with Egypt around it. I like daily life stuff more.
The physical status of the place is not actually.
And I like hieroglyphs. I like reading them.
The pyramid that no one knows about, Cleopatra the film. 69. Oh, fuck's sake.
Can you read hieroglyphs? Middle Egyptian, I'm better at reading. I can read some Old Egyptian because it's kind of similar to Middle Egyptian. But Middle Egyptian tend to have more evidence of Middle Egyptian than compared to the other two. So, well, 3.
Hieroglyphs existed more in Middle Egyptian.
Hieratic is really hard for me to read. I can't read that one. It's too cursive.
They're all cursed. That's the point, isn't it? Got to have curses in tombs, otherwise, what kind of tomb is it? Thank you. Too many think that there are only the big 3. I mean, that's the other one. There's the pyramids of Giza, where all the geezers hang out.
Thing is, the big 3 is not even the big 3. What? You have the 3 main ones, but then there's also the wife's pyramids as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little ones at Giza.
The Giza complex is massive. I would like to go and visit it, though. It would be really cool to actually see the height of it in real life, because the pictures and video don't do any justice.
Nothing up top describes Kent Hovind getting an IQ test. I mean, he'd cheat anyway. You know he would. It's not a pyramid, it's multi-level marketing. That's true. And that's a fact backed up by the science. Anyway, she's had her pyramid talk / pyramid texts. So over 130 volcanoes in Australia, but they're all dormant or extinct because it's the center of a continental plate. That's very interesting. I knew that there were a decent number. I didn't know that are they all dormant? Oh no, dormant or extinct. So none of them are active in any way at the moment, at least.
When I visited the Giza pyramids, there was a KFC co-located with the Pizza Hut right next to the Sphinx.
Yeah, it's kind of astounding because you think of those places and you basically you think of the movies and they're on their own in the middle of the fucking desert, and they're not. It's all fucking right there, because why wouldn't it be? There's this big fucking very obvious landmark, and it's relatively close to the Giza pyramids are close to a river, right? Relatively close to a river, so
they're still quite far away from it.
It makes sense to build something there. There's a couple of active volcanoes in other places that are territories of Australia. Yeah, but I wouldn't count territories of Australia as Australia. What about Reformed Egyptian in the Book of Mormon? I'm sure she fucking loves it. I assume that the Book of Mormon makes up a bunch of shit about Egypt because of course they fucking do. Cairo comes almost right up to the Sphinx paws. Yeah, basically. Because it's there. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a KFC and just kind of looking at the pyramids. That'd be cool. But yeah. Let's move on conversation. Do you know the main reason that It's not that I don't like it when Mrs Sic talks about Egypt. It's that I can't contribute. And at the end of the day, it is kind of my channel. It is kind of a thing where I feel like I'm supposed to be speaking. And then if she's talking about Egypt, I'm like, yeah, I assume that's relatively correct. Okay. Like, I have nothing to say and it drives me crazy. So, yeah. So saith the man on the History Channel that looks like he pissed on an electric fence. Do you mean the fucking aliens guy? Because he definitely thinks he's just jealous. Are you talking about me? I'm not jealous of her ability to talk about Egypt. I'm just incapable of contributing.
I think Amut is a baboon with a crocodile head. No, Amut is. It was crocodile head, like leopard, or oh no, it would be lion front legs and is it hippo or elephant back end? I think it's a hippo.
Is the best bike in the world related to the greatest song in the world? Or is it just a tribute to the best bike in the world?
Apparently Amut was like one of the inspirations for a chimera in Greek mythology.
You were contributing though. Was I? Or was I saying bullshit? Like I was talking, but I did not feel like I was contributing. And feelings are the most important things over facts. That's what Ben Shapiro taught me.
So, you know, when you're talking about stuff and I have no idea what you're talking about and I just sit there silently. And, like, now you know how I feel when I can't contribute anything.
Okay, but now I can talk to you about Dark Souls and you can talk endlessly.
Oh, I like Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is a good game for cool people with abilities.
Abilities?
Contribute with your stunning looks. Yeah, abilities to get good. Mrs Sic has officially gotten good.
Just a little bit. I still have to go through the harder games.
I would be interested to see what happens when you attempt something like Sekiro. Because I still haven't beaten Sekiro. That game is fucking brutal. I've gotten up to very near the end. When you fight, spoilers, your kind of dad. And I haven't beaten him. And then I stopped playing.
Holy shit, thank you, John.
John Hopkins did a $50 donation for the Biff Days. Very much appreciated. It's not her birthday yet. It's in 12 minutes, so do it again in in about 12 minutes. Ideal. Cheers, mate. Sorry, wasn't paying attention. Did Mrs Sic just say I had a hippo's back end?
No.
I know it feels like Mrs Sic is always talking about
Amut, the like god demon figure that eats hearts of the dead.
I mean, they did say a nicest thing anyone said about me all year.
But I do have a fat ass, Lord, if that counts.
It's not you. It's about her. Not everything's about you, and not everything's about Mistress Kaylee. It's all about me.
I thought you said I, as in like me, not her.
No, I said I, as in reading the thing that the person said.
Oh, okay.
If I'd have been talking about you, I'd have used the word you. See, I'm smart like that. I know how to English real good. What about Project Inversion, where they're going to use downforce to drive in F1 cars on the ceiling of a tunnel? Well, F1 cars are reverse wings. That's how they work. They have huge amounts of downforce. Now, whether or not anyone actually would do that in an actual F1 car, like what would be the benefit?
Where can I contribute without YouTube taking a huge cut?
PayPal.
PayPal, probably.
PayPal's a smaller amount. If you want to do an ongoing basis, I have a Patreon that costs me about 5%. None of these services are going to be free, but they are a lot more convenient, and I'm grandfathered in on Patreon, so I pay less than most people.
What Egyptian god could beat up Thor?
All of them, because they're all fake and made up.
Yeah, but within the universal context.
Is this a God of War question? essentially.
Like Sekhmet Sekhmet is apparently supposed to be very brutal. So, like, there's a story of her like going on a rampage and ripping open everybody to drink their blood. So,
sounds good. Oh. Kentucky Fried Crocodile. I mean, I would definitely eat Kentucky Fried T-Rex. That sounds amazing. All of them. Thor died in his story. That's fair. Any of them that aren't dead, they could just go and piss on his corpse. Win-win. Driving an F1 car on a tunnel ceiling has been done before, I think. Yeah, that would make sense because, like I said, F1 cars work. They produce huge amounts of downforce. It's what gives them the. That's why they turn the way they turn without skidding and stuff. It's because they've got huge amounts of downforce. It gives them way more traction. I don't even like F1, but I found that fascinating when I learned about it. And the definition that they are a reverse wing made so much fucking sense to me that I was like, that's really fucking cool. Yeah. So that's essentially how they work. They also have very, very specific criteria of what makes them an F1 car. If you're not in that thing, it's not the same, and you don't get to race the cars. But they can change very small things, and they make very big differences if they're done correctly. PayPal does not have a monthly donation option. It actually does. If you check my... I have a link somewhere. Let me have a look. I mean, when people are offering to give me money, I'm much more motivated to actually do things. It's because I like money, though. I can't remember your channel. There
can you remember?
If you ate all the pies in November.
You did.
Yeah, if you click the link on my About page, it literally has a tick box called Make This a Monthly Donation. And you can do that. Someone donates currently £1 to me every month, which I completely appreciate. But very few people do it on PayPal, so it's like literally the only one. And someone the other day donated £0.01 to me. I don't know if they were trying to donate more. I don't know if I even got any of it, I'll be honest. Because they do take a percentage.
Oh, thank you, Kaylee.
Yeah.
I am streaming tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so you can go from this stream, sleep for a few hours, and then wake back up and go straight back into Mrs Sic streaming. You might hear me in the background. Potentially, you might hear me snoring.
My mic doesn't. If I'm over here and it doesn't pick me up.
That's fair enough.
Like,
I might sleepwalk over to snore in the mic at her. You might hear me say things to her, or she'll ask me to make her food. Other than that, there's not a huge amount.
Cast fireballing on her, Mrs Sic, and her anniversary of being witness to the absolute nonsense of that existence. I appreciate it.
Yeah, existence is ludicrous, and so finding it funny is one of the better ways to deal with it. Which is, what is it? Absurdism. If there was a philosophy that I was most closely aligned with, absurdism is definitely one of them. Life is stupid. Laugh.
Like, there's Myth of Sisyphus, which is a good book about absurdism.
Plus, Sisyphus sounds rude.
It does a little bit.
It sounds mostly like a venereal disease. Oh, he's got the Sisyphus.
It's probably what bits.
I mean, you roll the ball up and it falls out again. That sounds so much worse when I say it out loud. 10 a.m., not 9 p.m. I am confused.
Wasn't Amut in Moon Knight? Yes, I think so.
You reasonably liked Moon Knight, didn't you?
I liked Moon Knight. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good as a show, and it had Egyptian stuff in it, and so even if it wasn't perfect, she still You enjoy the aesthetic, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But Moon Knight was pretty good, even though it wasn't completely accurate to the mythology, but I liked how they took creative license with it.
What are other people's time zones where they think it's 5 minutes into the future? Like, seriously, are other people's time zones just that far off? It is just about 23:56. It's not her birthday yet. It wasn't her birthday 10 minutes ago. Cool your beans. Or chill your boots. Or whatever the fucking phrase is.
Apophis
I'll let
could
you know
be
when it's her birthday. Or I'll miss it and then forget.
Considering Apophis is supposed to be the basically like
Apophis
is like darkness and infinity and does evil incarnate. It like encompasses everything that is pure evil and destructive. So yeah, probably.
And he's a gold.
And the Egyptian name is Apep.
And he got defeated by SG-1, so, you know. Bit of a pussy, really.
I really like Stargate as well.
Yeah, Stargate is like the ideal.
Even though it's not accurate, I do like it.
It's not well, of course it's not accurate. I'm pretty sure that the Egyptians didn't have fucking Stargates.
They explain some of the mythology in it, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it bothers me, but apart from that.
Gold, lol. Yeah. There you go, 12. Yeah. If it's not on the hour, then it's not the birthday yet. No, I'm just off to... Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. You're not going to wait 3 minutes. Come on. You don't need to go to bed that badly. You can wait around for another hour. No. 1:57. Exactly.
Do we need a countdown clock?
No. I do find it weird that fireworks are going off today, though, since there's... I don't know if there's some other religious thing going on, but sometimes I think people just set off fireworks for no fucking reason.
Daniel Jackson and Mrs Sic crush? No. Tilk.
No, yeah. She likes big dudes. Although Jack, I don't know, man. Silver Fox. And he's got that MacGyver vibe. Although...
Wait, is Tilk autistic coded?
I would argue it, yeah.
Oh no, another one.
Oh no, another one.
I always end up really liking autistic coded characters.
Daniel Jackson. I think, don't we have SG-1 on the Plex? I think we have it on the Plex.
We do. I know.
It might not work properly, because otherwise I feel like I would have watched it all. I'll have to check into that and fix it if it's broken.
I'll see you tomorrow.
The Church of England sending the Pope off. Oh, maybe. I guess that makes a certain sense.
Baptism magnet is working as intended.
Oh, okay. Mrs Sic's worth it.
Oh, thank you.
Did you lie down, go, okay, I'll sleep now, and go, oh, I'm not sleeping, I can't be bothered, let's stay up all night. My wife sleep talking one time said, shut up, Bruce. I think we've all said some very fucking weird things whilst sleep talking.
I know you have.
I said my name, and then no more concrete 77.
Yeah, the no more concrete was an odd one.
Well, saying no more concrete is a hell of a thing to do. I've had full-on conversations with Mrs Sic of her when she was a fucking kid. I didn't realize she was a kid in this interaction until I started having a chat, and then I said, "Oh, so what are you doing?" Like trying to chat her up, and she's like, "Well, I'm 13." I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking gone really weird, off the rails. Never mind."
Yeah, that was when I was reliving my French trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, never mind." Anyway, wake up. What is it with England? We have to jump through hoops to get a license for a gun, but idiots can buy literal boxes of explosive whenever.
Yay, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Mrs Sic. Happy birthday, Mrs Sic. Your fella's a dickhead. Happy birthday, Mrs Sic. Hip hip, money. Hip
Dude.
hip. Hey, they're not going to give us money unless I ask for it. That's how that works. They're not going to think about it unless I remind them.
Thank you very much, guys.
Oh
my god, okay.
Thank you, Anonymous Pie.
See, Egypt stuff in films.
The best kind of pie.
Like war films. Like, see a tank battle on both sides have American tanks. Oh god.
I mean, to be fair, depending on the war, both sides could very well have American tanks.
Holy shit, John. Calm down. Thank you anyway.
He knew what he was doing. He planned this. Appreciate it. And your husband's a prick. Happy birthday. I mean, her husband is a prick. I don't know who this guy is, but you know we're not married, right? I don't know the amount of times I've had to break that news to people that me and Mrs Sic aren't actually married. It's a username.
I would
It's
share
not a fact.
free cat pictures. Oh god, I would love some cat pictures.
Yeah, you can share free cat pictures. She's got a Twitter and other things.
I don't really go on Twitter though.
Common law at this point. I mean, maybe. We'll see. We'll see when she leaves me and tries to take me for everything I own.
Thank you for joining in on my birthday though. And
yeah.
Also, like, listening to him waffle on.
Wow. Thank you for coming to the stream. That is my stream.
Would you like a waffle though?
I really like waffles.
I know you do. That's why
I'd like a waffle iron. I'd like to try like fresh waffles. You couldn't have them anymore because you're all fucking...
No, I don't like waffles anyway.
Could we make a batter? Have you had fresh waffles?
No.
You'd probably like them.
Yeah, but they're savoury. I can't taste savoury food very well.
Yeah, but it's not about savoury. It's about crunch.
Oh, the crunchy.
They'd be crunchy as fuck.
Oh, because the waffles I have had are
soft.
They're not crunchy.
Yeah, of course they're not. PayPal link. Let me find it. Oh, I have to copy this, don't I?
Happy womb escape day. Now
Good
apologise to your mum.
Oof.
Apparently, I was a very big baby, so maybe I should apologise.
There's a link, so you don't have to find it. I don't know if it'll go to the same place. I'll have to click it to check. There, yeah, it goes to the same place.
My ex got really pissed off one night. I was sleep talking in German. He had no idea what I was saying.
Do you speak German, or did you just I love your video avatar, by the way, Mrs Sic. Absolutely adorable, and it suits you. Yeah, she made that all herself. She's a very talented little so-and-so. And it animates and everything. So, yeah, as her birthday present, if you're not going to give us cash, you could at least go and subscribe to Mrs Sic. And maybe, if you see it turn up, go and join her in the stream tomorrow. Say hi. Give us shit. Tell her she's old.
I am old now, officially.
She is very old. She's basically ancient. She's almost as old as I am, and that's fucking old. Jesus Christ. And then someone will go, yeah, but I'm in my 60s.
I
don't care.
I am catching up to you, though.
You keep catching up, and then I slip away. I mean, the difference is getting smaller. But as a percentage. Not as an actual number. It's not changing at all. Stroop waffles are what you want.
Hold on, I was just joining trying to be nice, but this is not... what? What?
What's up, fam? And trying to be nice in terms of what? Another successful rotation of the planet falling into the sun and missing. Yeah, Mrs Sic is now a day older. And also technically a year older, but 100% a day older than she was this time yesterday.
What was Egyptian food like? I've never tried it.
I assume it was spicy, because everything in any
ancient
place that was
Egyptian,
hot is
right?
probably spicy.
Ancient Egyptian food. A lot of it was they drank a lot of weak beer because the water was like not very good to drink, so they would drink beer instead.
10 a.m. is correct, Kaylee. Yeah, I mean, everywhere used to drink beer because it was the only way to have water that didn't make you shit yourself to death.
Having meat was not common. There was a Hatshepsut who apparently was actually obese because she had her fill on beef.
Beef.
And even though a lot of her pictures that she had drawn of herself or sculptured look very kind of like standard Egyptian styles, apparently she was quite fat.
Sir Sic, you from London? No, I am from the home counties, which are around London, but are not the same thing as London, even though people who don't know what the home counties are, they say, where are you from? I'm from this place in the home counties. And they go, where's that? And I say, the home counties. And they say, where's that? I say, it's around London. And they go, oh, so you're from London? I go, no. That is incorrect. Being from London and being from the home counties are vastly different. The home counties are considered incredibly posh, even though Staines is in the home counties and is literally one of the least posh places on earth. Where I used to live was near Staines, Bracknell, and other places. And yes.
The one that was plastered white with the whole pyramid, or with limestone, it must have been a fabulous sight. A lot of it was, like back then, like even the temples were decorated, like in bright colours everywhere. And these huge white pyramids with golden tops. It must have been spectacular.
Well, that's always one of the fascinating things about ancient architecture is that the things we see today are just nothing like what they look like. My favourite one is like the Greek statues were all painted, weren't they?
Yeah, some of them are.
And so we see these like marble things, and they've got no fucking arms because someone smashed them off because they're wankers, and they're pure white or like a grey. But it's like that wouldn't have been what it looked like. It looked, from as far as what people can tell, kind of fucking stupid. Like the very brightly painted and colourful and all that. It would have been very interesting to see what a lot of things look like. Like she was saying about the pyramids, they were bright white and then capped with gold, which would have looked fucking amazing. Like that would have been some mind-blowing shit.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like beacons, so
could be worse. Could be Scunthorpe with its cheeky hidden cuss in the middle. Okay, finally got a PayPal donation to go through. I think I'll make sure that has actually worked, and that way you won't lose your mind, and we'll find out if you're no.
Also, Crimsbium's hammered off the faces.
Holy shit, dude!
Replaced with crosses.
I was gonna joke that we're checking to make sure you're cheap. Thank you so much. If you don't want people to know how much it was, obviously it was more than I expected. Thank you, appreciate it. Unless it's for Mrs Sic, where fuck you, give me one too. No.
What did I ever got of a birthday present?
A donation was made to the Sir Sic YouTube channel.
No, it's not mine then. Okay.
Whether it belongs to you or not is a discussion.
Semen stains. What?
No, we share everything, so don't worry about it.
Please talk about the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Well, I would, but I'm getting really tired, and I have to be up late, like in less than 10 hours.
We're probably gonna fuck off in. Basically, I was waiting until 10 past.
I think like we could probably go to 1:15, but I'll have to like leave after that.
Do you want to give them an extra 5 minutes?
Yeah, we might as well since we're here.
Yeah, and it gives you 5 minutes to talk about more Egypt stuff.
Okay.
Is that your plan? Is that your genius invention? In honor of Mrs Sic.
I remember some of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. I can't remember all of them. I know that I know about the pyramids, obviously.
There's me, my balls.
Is this your body parts?
My asshole. That one toe. My third eye.
Your hairy ears.
Yeah. The hair in my ears that does not need to be there. And of course, the most wondrous of all is my massive forehead. It's just enormous.
You know, when you look out to the horizon and imagine seeing this huge head.
You know how a horizon surrounds you? That's what it feels like just to look at my forehead. It looks like a horizon.
You know, when you look at Cthulhu and you
can
can't
see
comprehend
ships
it.
going down the back of my head. It's ridiculous.
The Gardens of Babylon. Oh yeah, the Colossus of Rhodes. That would have been really epic, that one.
And then there's Speeve. The Washington Monument obelisk was capped with aluminium because it was more expensive than gold. Until a year later, when a new process was made to make it easier to extract. Yeah, that must have fucking sucked. It's like, look what we did. It's so cool and expensive. Yeah, we made that super easy. You could have made the whole fucking thing out of aluminium, and it wouldn't, and it would still been cheap. Yeah.
I'll give Mrs Sic a happy birthday in Hawaiian. And do not make me attempt to say that, because my accent does not
I can do the hand gesture.
What?
We're doing the hand gesture
you mean
back at
like
you.
Shaka?
I don't know what that.
Yeah, Shaka.
Okay, I don't know what it's called, but I've played a lot of Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Although I need to get back to it and play more of it. The 5 head. It's more of a 10 head, I'll be honest. It's pretty impressive. It's a big forehead.
I think it should be 11 head because it's one bigger.
Whatever is the biggest one, mine is always bigger because I'm amazing. I have a $400 nude solid bronze of Artemis. Why haven't you given me that money so I could spend it on whiskey instead? Very, very offensive.
God, you are so loud.
I'm always loud.
You're a very loud man.
I am Mr. Loud.
Takes off cowboy hat. Head is still Head is still that tall. You
know those hats that the beef eaters wear. You just take it off and it keeps going up and up and up. I do have a relatively big forehead, but it's not actually as big as we're saying. I'm not. You wouldn't see me and go, "Oh my god, what is that? And why is it trying to kill me?" I don't look like a cone head.
Really? I give Mrs Sic a Shaka any day. Oh my god.
Please don't tell me you don't fap to it, or else she'll hunt you down. If the story's... Sorry, fap to what?
What?
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
Fap to the statue, probably.
Oh.
Because she'll turn you into a Gorgon?
Gorgon? Artemis?
Yeah.
Artemis isn't Medusa. I'm so confused.
No, she made Medusa.
Ah, the statue of Artemis in the myth.
Yeah, the stories.
The one guy saw her naked and turned her into a deer and torn apart by his own hunting dogs.
Yeah, the Greek mythologies are fucking badass.
I mean, not badass, just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're like epically really fucked up.
Sick, but that's in ASMR. Men were turned into animals. Menace was created by Athena. Although it looks like you said menus were created by Athena. She invented lists of food. Delicious. I do like a good menu. Right, we are running up on 15 minutes past, and we are going to fuck off because it's very much bedtime. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening to me ramble for the first 30-odd minutes about my problems.
About Egypt.
Doing a job that lots of people would consider to be a dream job, but things aren't going quite as well as I'd like. Oh, woe is me.
Thank you for the donations.
Thank you for the donations. Thank you for coming along.
I will try and think of something worthy to spend it
on. Yes, thank you all, and we will catch you in the next stream, which will not be this long, not even close. If you want to have more stream of her playing a Vimeo, James, quite well. I want to say badly, but it's just not even remotely accurate anymore. Pardon me. You can go see her tomorrow, but thank you for coming, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.